victory at Newbury 14 days ago. Nicky Henderson, with 3 triumphs to his credit, trains Lord Joshua for Mrs. Will Farish, wife of the much-respected American ambassador to London. No one would begrudge the Farishes a fun day after a grueling 6 months. But Lord Joshua's position in the market owes more to public faith in Hen Henderson than his clear superiority. He has a squeak, but so do a dozen others. This rarely is wider open than Mac's mouth at mealtimes.
Well, it's always a really tough race, this. Well, you can say that about everyone, but particularly considering these are only 4-year-olds, a lot of them with limited experience over hurdles. Important to get them off into a decent rhythm. And from what we've seen so far this year, the Irish look to have a fairly strong hand. They're well represented in here. And this is Ballapore. And he had good form at the start of the season. And he's run respectably without winning since he's been upped in class. And he's 100 to 1 shot.
Number 2, Burning Impulse, was one of the favourites after a really striking debut at Kempton earlier in the year, but he flopped next time out at Sandown on very sticky ground. Be wise to forgive him that. He's a nice horse.
Yeah, he certainly looks well and would be much better suited by today's surface, and that can also be said about Canada. Now, this was a useful horse with Barry Hills, and I was particularly impressed with his win on horrible ground up at Haydock on his debut. He jumped well, should not be a 33 to 1 chance.
Number 4, Cashel Bay, trained by Luke Comer. This horse is still a maiden. He's yet to win over hurdles, but he's been running creditably. He's 66 to 1, but it wouldn't be the biggest shock if he was somewhere on the premises at the end.
This is Diamond Joshua. Quite a tough little type, this. But he'll have to improve on what we've seen of him so far. Also, the way he's ridden, he normally comes from off the pace. Won't make it easy for Jim Perotti.
Really bracing, fresh afternoon. Not quite so pleasant to be here as those pictures might indicate. The breeze really is keeping the temperature down, but it's a sight better than yesterday. And yet again, another huge crowd for a wonderful day's racing. Here's a leading contender, Giacomo, an improving horse with the right attributes for this race. He's a sound jumper, a good traveller, and he sees the race out well. Clear favourite at 8 to 1.
Jumping always at a premium, and this fella Hawks Run, he had some good form. He was disappointed when he pulled up behind Val Solitaire here last time, but prior to that there was a good run behind the horse of Martin's, Live the Dream, and like the last horse, Giacomo, he's a good jumper.
Number 8, He's a Pistol, one of a strong Irish contingent, beat Newhall, getting £5 earlier in the year, has to give her 5, so it's a £10 turnaround, but he's got a decent chance.
We've seen Canada, a former Barry Hills flat racer. This is another one, Hyderabad. I didn't think he was quite as good as Canada on the flat, but he's taken well to jumping, and he's already a winner at Thurles in Ireland.
Well, sometimes this race has its knockers. People say it's not the race that horses progress from, but 4 of the last 5 winners are still, in fact, in training and going well. Will Kalami join them? We'll know shortly. He carries the colours of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. A little bit disappointing, although second in both his starts. He's had a breathing operation since his latest run, and connections, by all accounts, are hopeful.
Quite a few of these are flat race bred, and this fella London's arguably got the best form of all of them on the flat, but he put up a miserable show first time up at Kempton, but ran much better in a moderate race last time, and it's interesting that Tony McCoy's chosen him over a handful of Martin Pipe runners.
Let's hope he doesn't repeat those antics.
It's been important for him that the ground's dried up, Jim, hasn't it? Without
question. He's a fluent mover and was a useful horse on the flat. Here's another expensive purchase off the level. Lord Joshua, 130 grand he cost. There's not much of him, he's on the small side, but he's well balanced. Confirmed debut promise when winning a useful race at Newbury last time.
Nicky Henderson has been really successful in this race in the past. He's had some decent horses win it, and none so That's Lord Joshua. We'll pick up Non-So in a moment. For those of you who've got good memories, I'll be surprised if Non-So doesn't remind you a great deal of First Bout, who's another one of Nicky's winners. Tall, leggy type, lots of promise and potential. He normally likes to bowl along and make the run, and I won't be surprised to see him doing that again today. And I shouldn't think it was an easy choice for Vic Fitzgerald.
John Joe O'Neill has the clear favourite Giacomo, but he's got another decent chance with Quasar. Quasar now ridden by Conor O'Dwyer. Tony Dobbin, the late defector from riding today. This horse has had a fine season. Whatever happens here, he's useful and he's got a turn of foot.
A handful of Martin Pipe runners, and I said it wasn't easy for Mick Fitzgerald to choose between Non-So and Lord Joshua. So heaven knows what it was like for Tony McCord, because most of Martin's horses have come here in winning form. This fella's done nothing wrong at all. Second to a Luna at Warwick, and then went and won at Market Rasen after that.
And yet another Martin Pipe runner, Riyadh, who's, you have to say, has been a bit disappointing. He's got form and he is useful, and this could be the sort of race that sees him to advantage, because he stays well and he'll run on past tiring horses, but he is a bit quirky.
Interested looking at all these horses, really taken with Giacomo. He's a tough type, and that applies to this fella too, Scolardi, who won but then was disqualified. The race went to Newhall at Leopardstown last time. He's had plenty of experience, and I think for a race like this that's quite important.
Sudbleu, who cost £1.5 million out of Elie Lelouch's stable at the Goths November Stale. He's shown fair form for Paul Nicholls, but he's held by Giacomo, and there's no real reason to think that he'll reverse placings.
This is Tender Cove, and Shea Barry rides this one now instead of Paul Carberry. A good horse on the flat, was a winner of some decent handicaps, and took well and bolted up on his one run at Naas.
I think this is an interesting horse. I was really taken with his first win at Leopardstown back in December at the Christmas meeting. He absolutely hosed up. That was for Paddy Mullins. Disappointing on his first start for Edward O'Grady, but the horse was wrong that day and he's worth another chance.
We'll pick up Graham Lee's mount in a minute. Valero, one of those that will need to improve on what we've seen of him so far. He's had a couple of shows. Certainly the speed that they'll go to the first flight of hurdles will be, I should think, 25% quicker than what Valero has been used to, and plenty of the others as well come to that. As I said, he's just had the 2 runs. He's a horse who's, from what we've seen, once holding up, he can take a bit of a grip, but I should think he'll be pulling too hard this afternoon.
22, Volano, Richard Johnson just jogging along to get in the plate. Now this horse, he was actually favourite, can you believe it, for the Triumph in what's been a topsy-turvy market. After winning at Sandown, he beat Kalami easily, but he was very disappointing next time, and that's why he's drifted out. Hard to know what to make of him.
Now, I think the race was run a bit slowly for him at Sandown last time. This is an interesting type bowl solitaire. He won here a couple of runs ago. That came on the back of an indifferent run at Chepstow, which I'd forgive him for that, but I don't know why he was disappointed, I thought, behind Giacomo last time. Maybe that was a good race, and we'll know shortly.
Wesley Snipe, the second of the Dumaine runners, ridden by Laurent Mette. This is a useful horse, formerly trained by Elie Lelouch, placed at Kempton and Sandown last 2 starts. I suppose he has some sort of a squeak, but there are plenty with better form.
Yeah, he's certainly a good type. I like him, Wesley Slight. Eluna, she's a hard, wiry type of filly, this, but she's done nothing wrong. Good German filly on the flat. She's won and beaten some good horses twice at Warwick.
Live the Dream, what a bargain she's been. Won a seller, sold out of James Heatherton stable for $8.5 grand after that in September, and has made up into a decent juvenile hurdler. She races prominently and she tries hard.
Well, let's find another filly now. Newhall right in the front of your picture, and she is the filly that benefited from the disqualification of Skolody last time out, but she's an improving type. As Jim was saying, they get a decent allowance.
And she's really tough, John. I like her chances as well. Experience on the flat too. And finally, trained by the best. Not surprisingly, it's trained by Martin Pike, and she's a useful filly by the former champion hurdler Alderbrook. Disappointing last time out in a mare's novice hurdle. She's looked a bit quirky, and this is probably too tough a race for her.
Well, that's the run through the 28 runners for the JCB Triumph Hurdle. Let's see how it pans out, this dash around the 2 miles of Cheltenham after the break.
New Nissan Primera, a new form of intelligence.
Looking to buy a new computer for the internet? The choices are endless. Which one do you choose? This one? That one? Whatever computer you choose, choose AOL. AOL offer you and your family the very best of entertainment, information, and much more. You can try AOL on your PC for free. Our trial gives you 100 hours of access to AOL and the internet.
Simply call AOL on 0800 331 6000 for your completely free trial.
Imagine you could suddenly conjure up to £25,000. Well, they can be yours with a fixed low-rate loan from Direct Line.
Just call free phone 0800 051 6666 or arrange everything at directline.com. You don't have to provide security or pay arrangement fees, and your rate will be based on your circumstances and loan amount, and you can get it just like that. Direct Line loans have a typical APR of just 8.2%. Call 0800 051 6666 or apply online today.
Get 16 pages of top rating with the Daily Star every Saturday with the new Mega Starform. Read Mick Fitzgerald's exclusive column every week. Starform brings you the form guides that are even better than before. Everyone's getting it straight from the horse's mouth in the Daily Star.
Welcome back to a sunny Cheltenham, but don't be deceived, it's pretty chilly with this drying wind blasting across from Cleve Hill. But a vast crowd getting ready for the Triumph.
At Cheltenham, this JCB Triumph Hurdle has turned out to be a horror race in the past for the punters. In the 80s, 66-1 winners you had in Ickdam, Shiny Copper and Baron Blakeney, 40-1 Solar Cloud and Highland. In 92, 33-1 Duke of Monmouth, another 25 and 20-1 winners. 7 favourites and 36 runnings have been successful, though 3 of the last 7 favourites have obliged. And now Giacomo is favourite. 15-2 is the price against Giacomo. Many bookmakers have got 7-1 against it. But Newhall, good, strong support for that. That's put in at 8-1. It's then 10-1 against Lord Joshua and 11-1 Aluna. And at last, some money from the officers come back from McCoy and Londoner. Now 12-1 from 14-1. He's a Pistol, also popular at 14-1. He's a Pistol. And among the 16-1 chances, this Vol Solitaire, who was 40-1 this morning, is now 16-1. 100-6 here. But Giacomo looks like going off favourite at 15-2 or maybe 7-1 with 8-1 Newhall and 10 Bar.
Londoner looks quite settled, and having had a couple of moderate days for Tony McCoy, well, could all come right this afternoon. Londoner wasn't an eye catcher for us. Giacomo filled that slot. Let's have a look, see what took Simon's eye. He's a pistol and Volano. Pluses though for Giacomo, Vol Solitaire and Newhall down in the ring. And negatives, you just heard Matt saying Londoners on the drift, and also the original favourite Lord Joshua.
I don't know, John, about you. I've never really fancied commentating, and this is one race I'd hate to do. Maximum field. Positions change quickly, but it's no problem to you, Simon, eh?
Simon must be quite eager after yesterday, isn't it?
It wouldn't bother me, to be honest, Jim and John, if I never had to call the Triumph Hurdle again. It is one of those bouncer balls every season. They go very fast indeed, huge field. There's usually a fair amount of incident. And the punters, as the punters have found to their cost over the years, it's anyone's race. There's one of the fancied runners, Londoner. Tony McCoy's been very down in the mouth, perhaps understandably, over the last couple of days with that awful incident to Valeromix on the first day. But he's got a tremendous book of rides this afternoon, particularly later on. Great chances on Royal Eau Claire and Polar Red in the last race.
Giacomo clear 7-1 favourite now for the JCB Triumph Hurdle, with 8-1 Newhall, 10 Lord Joshua, 11 Aluna, 12 Londoner and 14-1 Bar. Each way 4 places with all bookmakers. Some are playing each way 5 places and one bookmaker's playing each way 6 places in a wide open JCB Triumph.
All right, jockeys, line up. Wait, come on!
The familiar Cheltenham roar sends them on their way for the JCB Triumph Hurdle. Over the first flight, 28 runners. Scolardi is prominent on the inside. Also up the pace is Lord Joshua, and not far behind them is Volano as well, and Non-So is running quickly on the outside in the yellow jacket as they career towards flight number 2, which will be their last after another circuit on a very blustery day here at Prestbury Park. And it's Non-So that leads the way, from Scolardi on the inside, with Reviewer right up with the pace as well, and then Canada. Londoner is close up, blue and green jacket on the outside. Volano wider out is Live the Dream in pink as they clear flight number 2. They all land safely. Cashel Bay is the back marker. So passing the stands with a circuit to go, it's Non-So, Londoner, Reviewer, then Volano, and Aluna is very handy in about 5th place. Then Live the Dream from Kalami in the royal colours, and Vol Solitaire. Behind Vol Solitaire is Scolardi on the inside. Canada's already under pressure. And then Giacomo and Sud Bleu, followed by He's a Pistol out wide with Quasar. Behind horses in midfield, then Hyderabad, followed by Burning Impulse and Riyadh and Valoreux, and then Lord Joshua on the inside with Turtleback and Tender Cove and Wesley Snipe towards the rear, trained by the best Newhall. And then right out the back, Valor and Diamond Joshua as they jump flight number 3. The back pair Hawks run together with Cashel Bay. Running down the back straight then towards the 4th obstacle. And it's Non-So in the yellow with in the pink Live the Dream. Then Kalami very close now on the outside. Londoners just in behind the leaders, with also right there Vol Solitaire and Aluna in the black and yellow jacket, the Diamonds, as they run towards the next flight. Live the Dream is the first to rise this time as they continue along the back straight. Lord Joshua is well adrift at the moment and not jumping too well to boot as they begin this next left-hand turn. And it's Live the Dream with Scolardi in the yellow cap on the inside, coming through to Disputed with Vol Solitaire, Aluna, Kalami for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother on the outside, the light blue jacket. Then on the inside is Sud Bleu, Quasar's main ground out wide, followed by Hyderabad and Riyadh as they stream over that one. Volano still just in touch with Wesley Snipe as well, and then behind these Burning Impulse, Tender Cove. Turtleback is moving very well and improving on the inside into the first dozen as they reach the highest point on the course and approaching a left-hand turn downhill. They're still a long way from home here in this JCB Triumph Hurdle. And it's Scolardi that shows the way. Live the Dream now driven along by Tom Scudamore. Riyadh close, Sud Bleu on the inside, looking for the favourite. Giacomo's got a lot to do at the moment a long way off the pace. Scolari leads them down the hill with a host of challengers. Riyadh, Vol Solitaire, Sudler on the inside. Behind them, Turtleback still going well. Out wide is Quasar with the white face. Newhall, red and white jacket on the extreme left. This is 3 out there coming to, it was 2 out there, and in front, Scolari on the inside. Giacomo's pulling up. Giacomo, the favourite out of the race. Lord Joshua has been pulled up as well, running for the final turn. It's Scolari in front. They've only got 1 flight to jump. Newhall sent into pursuit. Ireland 1 and 2. Then back in third is Riyadh from Vol Solitaire and Quasar. Sudler from the rear. Diamond Joshua is picking up well, but Scolari is sprinting clear, heading for this final flight. Newhall in turn is clear of the others in second place. Hyderabad staying on with Balapur, but at the final flight it's Scolari put himself right. Newhall lands in second, then Balapur, Hyderabad and Diamond Joshua. But racing into the closing stages is Charlie Swan, Cheltenham's favourite. Scolari is sprinting right away now, a dozen lengths ahead of Newhall, and Scolari has turned it into a rout here. Scolari wins the Triumph Hurdle. Newhall and Diamond Joshua fighting it out for second. Newhall just second, ahead of Diamond Joshua. Then Balapur. Hyderabad was in 5th place, and then behind those in 6th, Turtleback, followed by Wesley Snipe and Sudler, Quasar and Vol Solitaire. Next, Live the Dream and Valoreur and Hawks Run, Burning Impulse, Eluna and Kalami, and then Cashel Bay, and they trailed right back in the end to He's a Pistol and Tender Cove. Non-So was pulled up before the final flight, also pulled up trained by the best. Scolari and Charlie Swan. Charlie on the mark in the first race of the meeting with Like a Butterfly. He's won the first race on the final day of the meeting on Scolari, the most experienced runner in the field, trained by Willie Mullins in the colours of David Flynn, had the race won going to the last, and has won by what looked to be at least 12 lengths. A highly impressive win.
11 lengths and 3/4 of a length. Scolari wins the JCB Triumph Hurdle at 16 to 1, wins by 11 lengths, 1 length short of the record distance of Oh So Risky, who beat Chirk Power by 12 lengths 11 years ago, a near record distance win by Scolari. The runner-up Newhall, the 8 to 1 second favourite. The third horse, just turning my page on my card there, the third horse is Diamond Joshua at 66 to 1. The fourth, the top one, Balapur, was sent off at 100 to 1. And some bookmakers pay on the 5th horse, that was Hyderabad, double carpet, 33 to 1, is 5th at Hyderabad. But the winner, Scolari, wins it for Ireland and goes and gives Ireland their 6th win in the race. And they've won 4 of the last 11 Triumph Hurdles with Comanche Court, Shawiya, Rare Holiday, and before that Northern Game and Melodon. They win it for the 6th time. Scolari 11 to 1, 1 length off the record winning distance for the Triumph Hurdle, and the favourite 7 to 1, unplaced, Giacomo.
Well, Scolari beat Newhall the other day on Hennessy Day narrowly at Leopard Sound, but Ruby Walsh on that day got banned and disqualified, and it was a real controversial result. But Newhall may have been £6 better off here today, but Scolari pulverised the Triumph Hurdle field. We'll update you on all the fallout from that after the break.
What I was doing a year ago, 12 months ago, to now, is immeasurable the change for me, devastating. Stroke at 37, that's unbelievable, you know. Part of the blood clot tore off and went straight through my head. I can't work now. My balance goes, dribbles coming out, and then it starts slurring your words. You don't want to tell people you're disabled. I can't carry a bag of shopping now.
I wanted to ask you a little bit more about what feelings you had inside you when you used to see those anti-smoking ads.
Starting in this Saturday's Telegraph, you can get return tickets to the US from just £199 with United Airlines. Perfect, unless you have something better to do. Great weekends start with Saturday's Telegraph.
1 out of every 2 smokers dies from a smoking-related illness. Don't be the one. Call 0800 169 0169.
Think about part-time learning. Think the Open University. Call now on 0800 733 766. Think about the unbelievable sense of achievement. Think about the latest in computer communications. Think about the freedom to study and still do your job. Think about your own personal tutor and making new friends. Think about achieving your potential. Think part-time learning. Think the Open University. Call now on 0800 733 766 for your free prospectus. Do it now.
This is the inspiration for our latest innovation.
Yeah, I'm just on the floor. It's like yours.
Only better.
Better? No gluing. Locks together seamlessly. You had it?
No, Ma.
It must be expensive.
Just £18 a square metre at B&Q.
It's warmer underfoot too.
I've got to go, Ma.
B&Q. Tile-lock flooring gives you the look of ceramic, the feel of wood, in practically every room.
Only at B&Q. You can do it when you B&Q it.
Welcome back to Cheltenham, and wait for the noise as Charlie Swan on the Willie Mullins train Scolari tries to make his way through to the winner's enclosure after landing the Triumph. A real 16-to-1 shot, and you can bet they'll raise the roof. Now leading jockey at the meeting with 2 wins, and with Banno Bay to come in the stayers, must have a chance of clinching the title at this festival, so far divvied up in every direction.
Well, a wonderful performance that. We were talking about the difficult decision for jockeys, for Mick Fitzgerald, for Tony McCoy, also for Ruby Walsh, who rode this fellow when he was disqualified last time. He'd also won on him prior to this, chose he's a pistol, and so you can judge for yourself. There couldn't have been much between the two of them at home, but you get them onto a race course and onto some ground which, well, we thought was fairly good, but I don't know, we'll let you know what the times are in the official go in just a few moments, but 30 lengths separated them. Hard work for horses, the wind blowing them up the hill, okay.
Yeah, it's diagonally behind them up the hill, isn't it, John?
Well, it is, but all the way down that back straight, it's in their faces, and I think if you can get on the inside, keep one covered up, then obviously it makes a fair difference.
I'm not through yet. Charlie just being congratulated by the winning connections, the first time he sat on this horse. On Scolari, and as Alistair was saying, he must be a pretty warm favourite to reclaim that leading rider's title. Well, of course, Charlie, who doesn't ride over fences these days, has been mooted as a possible rider for Florida Pearl earlier in the week. He did approach it, it was discussed, but they decided to stick with experienced fencing jockeys. Anyway, Charlie won't mind, he's happy enough. He'll have a quick word with him now as he makes his way through the throng. Charlie, well done. He's found some improvement, that horse, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a lovely horse. He likes to cut in the ground, you know, the day ground, but he jumps super through the race. And I got there a bit sooner than I want, but when I got there, I was able to dictate a bit. Yeah. I just got my own pace when I got there, and when I kicked around the last bend, I couldn't believe he picked up. And he was hiding a bit. I didn't realise I was so far in front because the crowd and the wind and, you know, but it was great.
How's the ground riding today?
Very, very dead. A little bit deader than the first day.
Yeah.
But not half as bad as, you know, like yesterday was terrible. It's not too bad.
Will it suit Banno Bay?
He won't mind it.
Yeah, good stuff. Well done.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Charlie.
Well done to former Irish champion and a legend over there. Charlie was actually born in England, but lived all his life, most of his life over there, where his father trains. Charlie himself combines training with riding. and he's had some great moments. As John said, he's written by a lot of the media, is just associated with Isterbrat, but he's had such a fantastic career. Really nice man, and another impressive success for him.
Well, the Triumph Hurdles under our belt for another year. It's an hour to go exactly until the Tote Cheltenham Gold Cup. And with the anticipation building, we asked Jim McGrath to look back down the years and come up with his top 10 Gold Cup winners.
I can't forget you. I've got these memories of you. I can't.
The Cheltenham Gold Cup, first run in 1924, for a trophy valued 200 sovereigns, and added prize money just £685. But in the 20s, the Grand National was by far the supreme national hunt prize, and it wasn't until much later in its history that Cheltenham had prize money even approaching that on offer at Aintree. So, which of its 73 runnings have been the most significant? Well, given the simple fact that the distance of the race has been altered no fewer than 8 times, any comparison between the heroes of the past has to be relatively speculative. But attempting to try and compile a roll of honour has been enormous fun. So here, for what it's worth, are my 10 best horses to win the Gold Cup. At 10, Mandarin. In fact, by the time Mandarin won the Gold Cup as an 11-year-old, outstaying Fortria close home, a career which garnered wins in 2 Hennessy's, 2 King George's, as well as what we now know as the Royal and Sun Alliance Novices Chase, was almost over. Injury had dogged Mandarin for a couple of years. Amazingly though, if this gallant effort at Cheltenham wasn't enough of a swan song, this remarkable gelding then proceeded to defy broken reins and 2 ruptured tendons to land the Grand Steeplechase de Paris at Auteuil on his final start 3 months later. At 9, Silverbuck, whose finest moment came in 1982 when in the biggest field ever assembled for a Gold Cup, he finally belied the theory he didn't truly stay 3 1/4 miles, defeating his stable companion Brigorn, who went on to win 12 months later.
Astonishing finale to the Gold Cup this. Silverbuck from Brigorn, the Michael Dickinson train. Silverbuck lands in the lead, Brigorn jumps in second, Diamond Edge third and Sunset Crystal third, and it's Silverbuck from Brigorn as they race into the closing stages. Silverbuck still being pressed by Brigorn as they race up towards the line. Silverbuck from Brigorn, the Michael Dickinson duo are going to finish 1-2 at the line. Silverbuck wins it, Brigorn is second.
At 8, Cottage Rake. From 1948 to 1950, the Gold Cup belonged to Cottage Rake, trained by the incomparable Vincent O'Brien. A smaller, leaner, speedier type than most of his contemporaries, Cottage Rake had only 22 races over fences in a 9-year campaign. And on song, his turn of foot made him the chaser of his generation. At 7, Captain Christie. And had the captain ever learned to fence with the reliability of some of his contemporaries, he might have scaled even greater heights. Captain Christie won the Gold Cup as a novice, surviving a terrible mistake at the last to defeat the Dickler by 5 lengths.
He's nearly down! He's nearly down! The Dickler regains the lead! The Dickler goes back into the lead, but Captain Christie fighting back! And Captain Christie goes to the front again! And striding up to the line, and Captain...
At 6, Prince Regent, another great Irish train chaser, and a horse for whom the word consistent might have been invented. Most of the Prince's career was spent humping huge weights in handicaps. Yet remarkably, he won 15 times, and was out of the frame on only 3 occasions, 2 of those due to falls. At 5, Desert Orchid. For soundness and durability, no other chaser in this list matches Desert Orchid, whose victory in 1989 finally gave his record the blue ribbon it so richly deserved. Like a couple further down this list, the Gold Cup test didn't really bring the best out of Desi, though the rally that saw him reel in Yahoo drew almost unequal scenes of emotion. In a career spanning 10 seasons and 71 races over jumps, Desert Orchid won 34 prizes, including a Whitbread, an Irish National and 4 King Georges. An exuberant, spectacular jumper who raced with prodigious zest, he still enjoys an enormous following in retirement.
I can't forget you.
At 4, Millhouse. When taking the Gold Cup by 12 lengths from Fortria in 1963 as a 6-year-old, Millhouse looked set to sweep all before him. The Mandarin, the Hennessy and the King George all falling to him just as easily. Then along came a horse called Arkle, and from then on, Millhouse lived in his shadow and probably never enjoyed the recognition he deserved. Runner-up in the Gold Cup in 1964 and 1965, his final success was in the Whitbread of 1967. Millhouse was without question one of the greats in a golden era of chasers. At 3, Easter Hero, successful in 1929 and 1930. His first Cheltenham success was easily secured. The following season, it was the same story. In fact, after finishing second in the Galway Plate in July 1927, other than in the Grand National, Easter Hero was undefeated until beaten ahead under 12-7 at Lingfield in his warm-up for the 1931 Aintree Marathon. At 2, Golden Miller, the winner of 5 Gold Cups from 6 attempts in a 7-year spell between 1932 and 1938. The first horse to win the Gold Cup and the Grand National in the same year. In 32, he was left with a simple task when the favourite, Grackle, fell. 12 months on, he met the splendidly tough Thomond for the first time, coming out the better by 10 lengths. In 34, he once again had little to beat. But, a year later, Thomond ran him close, foiled only by a neck in course record time. For his final success, he trounced Royal Mail by 12 lengths. For all his 55 races included 6 Gold Cups and 5 Grand Nationals, there were little incidentals like optional selling chases and 3 flat races, and it's hard to think there was ever a chaser of more merit. But there was, and at 1 it has to be Arkle, whose brilliant career in the 60s is unlikely ever to be surpassed. Then Millhouse, the previous year's winner, and successful in all 4 of his races since, was considered by most of the home contingent to be nigh on unbeatable. However, the Irish horse outpaced Millhouse to win in tremendous style by 5 lengths. From then on, Arkle went from strength to strength. All told, he had 26 steeplechasers, winning 22, and in keeping with most other greats in this Roll of Honour, had some spectacular performances to his name in handicaps. Arkle had speed, stamina, and overall was a wonderful jumper. Sadly, at the age of 9, when in his prime, he broke a pedal bone in the King George the same year. Apart from 3 Gold Cups and a Whitbread, added a King George, 2 Hennessy Gold Cups, an Irish Grand National, and 3 Leopardstown Chasers. Make no mistake, Arkle was unique, and those who saw him run live were indeed fortunate.
I'll always be loving you.
Well, thank you very much, Jim, for that. Some fascinating footage from years past, and the immortal Arkle rightly topping Jim's top 10 of all-time great Gold Cup winners.
Meanwhile, we can just reflect momentarily on their first race, the SP on the Triumph Hurdle. Scarlatti, the winner, at 16-1. Second, number 27, New Hall, at 8-1. Third, number 5, Diamond Joshua, at 66-1. And fourth, number 1, Ballapur, at 100-1. Giacomo was the 7-1 favourite. The win tote, £24.90. Places 450, 210, £21.40 and 34.20. Exacta £85 and 10 pence, 28 rand.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman, Lord Vestey, and the directors of the Steeplechase Company are delighted to welcome the directors and guests of JCB to Cheltenham this afternoon for the company's very generous and first-time sponsorship of our opening race on Tote Cheltenham Gold Cup Day. This the Grade 1 JCB Triumph Hurdle. Well, we extend a very warm welcome indeed to Sir Anthony and Lady Bamford. Sir Anthony is the chairman of JCB, and they have very kindly joined us to present the race trophy. Here to receive it, we're delighted to welcome the owner of Scarlatti. Well done to Mr. David Flynn, and I think he's going to be accompanied by a few of his colleagues for the presentation. Well done to you all.
Some triumphant scenes post-triumph. We've got the Stayers Hurdle coming up and the build-up to the Cheltenham Gold Cup. We'll take a quick break.
It's a busy life we lead today, but it is surprising where you can still find natural beauty. Britain's canals and rivers are a hidden world of wildlife and stunning scenery, and I hope you'll join me in helping to keep them safe for generations to come. Call 0800 36 77 66 today to help Britain's brand new National Waterways charity, the Waterways Trust, to conserve this fragile habitat. You'll help us save precious waterways wildlife, like the delightful water vole. It's a home to otters, once quite common, now rarely seen. People too are discovering these peaceful places where they can share this fragile habitat with beautiful wildlife. To help keep all this beauty from vanishing, please support the Waterways Trust. Call 0800 36 77 66 today. As little as £3 a month can help conserve another mile of fragile habitat in this wonderful hidden world. In return, you'll receive these beautiful visitors maps, free only through the Waterways Trust. They're a colourful guide to our best-loved waterways, and you can look forward to 3 new maps every year. And thanks for your valuable support. Start your collection by calling 0800 36 77 66 right now. Call the Waterways Trust, give just £3 a month, and help keep our waterways a thriving, beautiful haven for wildlife.
It's the first direct frying pan avoidance test. I'm going to smack you in the face with the frying pan. Is that all right? I can warn you. I can warn you if you want to. The choice is yours. You want a warning or not. When I say duck, you duck. 1, 2, 3, duck! 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 Ah, well...
When you bank with First Direct, we'll help you avoid all the pain of going overdrawn by texting your balance to your mobile.
No warning. Are you sure?
Choose First Direct. It's so black and white.
For today's over 50s, a great way to discover the world is with Saga. With great value holidays, from friendly sunshine close to home to exciting adventures in faraway places. Wherever you travel, you can be sure that every holiday has been planned to the last detail, leaving you free to enjoy the time of your life. Just phone 0800 50 50 05 and ask for a Saga brochure.
Welcome back to Cheltenham, everybody. Just to update you on the jockey changes of importance here this afternoon. Up and coming, we've got Barry Geraghty on Bounce Back and Brian Hardy on Telemos. Now in the Gold Cup, Roddy Green's in for Cypher Malta. Dean Gallagher attempting an extraordinary double with Marlborough, having won the champion. AP is now an exit swinger in the absence of Lady Cricket in the 4:30, and Dean Gallagher on Francis Bay. Timmy Murphy on Ben Bias and Jimmy Mansell on Joe Cullen in the concluding County Hurdle.
Of all the horses that carry the green and gold hoops of owner J.P. McManus, this horse, Barracuda, should be the banker bet of the whole meeting. He's won his last 8 races. He is supposedly different class to all his rivals, and if you ask all the professionals what is the best bet, it should be Barracuda. But is it? Let's focus on the favourite.
Except for a few hours of even money, Barracuda has been odds-on for the Stayers Hurdle virtually all winter. It's all black and white here, no grey. Either JP's French-trained star is the meeting's good thing, or one to oppose with every last coin in the satchel. He's looked different class to the rest of the staying brigade at his best, but he didn't ring too many bells when winning the Rendlesham at Kempton last time, although both the slowish early pace and easy track didn't play to Barracuda's strengths. More importantly, several paddock judges didn't like the look of him that day, and he'll have to impress Jim McGrath and John Frankham in the preliminaries if he is a true odds-on shot for this grueling test.
Barracuda was back down from odds against to odds on with Coral in the offices this morning, but there's no chance now of it going off at odds on. No, but even money on the course has gone out to 13-8 Barracuda. They've just come in for it, and 6-4 is now the price. Banner Bay was a 4-1 chance for Ladbrokes this morning. Over 3 on the course is now double the head. 9-4 second favourite. Very solid support for the Irish horse. It's 9-1 Jer de Cochet with 12-1 Brother Joe, and 12-1 It Takes Time, and 20-1 Bar. But Barracuda, would you believe it? The Sharks are not in for it at 6-4 and 20-8, and it's Barry Dennis's Bismarck. He thinks it would get sunk. So do the bookmakers round the track.
Well, Barracuda well on the drift here, and just an illustration of how disgraceful the anti-post prices over this horse have been all winter. All the bookies have had him odds on, and he's the best part of 2-1 today. An absolute shame on them, as Mac would say. They really have been exposed for the mean and miserly anti-post prices they've been offering. Right, we'll see if he can do the business in the stayers, drifting or not, after the break.
Excuse me, sir. You would like to see today's specials?
No, but I have something special for you. It is Benecol olive oil spread. It has the goodness of olive oil, and it significantly reduces cholesterol. Don't worry, there'll be enough for everyone.
Every year in the UK, up to 4.5 million people suffer from food poisoning, caused by unseen germs. You are watching how easily these germs are spread. You can stop these germs spreading simply by washing your hands. Keep your kitchen and your business safe. For more information, call 0845 608 6089 or visit our website.
Think you're the bee's knees at everything, don't you, Brian? Well, carpenters are better at making cupboards than you, and the AA's better at car insurance than you. They've got a long list of insurance companies they can search through to find a great deal. Have you? No, just got a plank of wood.
Call 0800 444 777.
Welcome back to Cheltenham. It's the Stayers Hurdle next. It's always a test. They tend to go pretty quick. And this wind, John Franklin's making the point, when they're going into the wind, it's an added drain on stamina. 72,500 up for grabs. 16 run. Let's hear runners and riders from Simon Wright.
So just arriving at the start for this Grade 1 race. 3 miles. The Stayers Championship over hurdles. Banner Bay heads them at 2-1. Charlie Swan. Barracuda out to 7-4 favourite now. Thierry Dumaine. Boss Doyle at 33 is David Casey. And at 25-1 is Bounce Back, the mount of Barry Geraghty, replacing Paul Carberry. Ruby Walsh on Brother Joe at 12-1. Carlavon at 50-1. And Tom Scudamore. Dino's Beano at 25-1. Roddy Green, and Effectual at 100-1. Brian Crowley. Tony McCoy rides It Takes Time at 12-1. Jer de Cochet from France, like the favourite, 9-1. Jacques Ricou. Montalcino at 25-1. Norman Williamson. From America, Pelagos and Blythe Miller at 100-1. And then Sid Talbot at 25-1. Timmy Murphy. Warren Marston on Splendid at 20-1. Teatral at 50-1. Jimmy McCarthy. And Brian Harding replaces the injured Tony Dobbing on Telemos at 20-1.
Well, Barracuda looked much better here this afternoon. So did Bano Bay, looked well, but Brother Joe got the nod. Bano Bay plus for him. Also another one down in the ring, and Barracuda. So his odds on this morning, 7-4 as we saw just now. Bano Bay's done nothing wrong this year. He's improved. He's still only a 7-year-old now. He's come up through the handicap ranks. The further he's gone, the better he's been. And he's accounted for Limestone lad. Raced the time before last at Leopardstown. But coming under starter's order, Barracuda. He's just stalking them for the most time. 3 miles, game of stamina. Boss Doyle leads him next short side.
Yes, he does, in the orange and green jacket from Teatral on the near side, and Splendid in the maroon close-up, and also Gier de Cochet in the yellow sleeve jacket as they rise at flight number 1. Barracuda held up towards the outside in the early stages. The green and yellow hoops of JP McManus. Thierry Dumoulin just looking behind to see where 1 or 2 of the others are. There aren't too many behind him. On to the second, Boss Doyle and Teatral, with Dino's Beano close up, and then on the inside Splendid, Telemos and Gier de Cochet in the noseband now poking through. Carlavant on the outside, followed by Telemos in an orange cap as they clear flight number 3. And a faller Brother Joe is down at that. Brother Joe departs at flight number 3. Quite a well-fancied horse, a gasp of disappointment from quite a few of the punters. The horse seemed to get up all right. Ruby Walsh is okay as well. He's up on his feet. On to the next, Gier de Cochet and Boss Doyle disputing it now. From Teatral on the inside, then Splendid, and Dino's Beano, and then Telemos and Carlavant on the outside. Bano Bay, the blue, there's Ruby Walsh walking away from that fall from Brother Joe. Back with the race, Gier de Cochet and Boss Doyle 1 and 2. Teatral, Carlavant, Dino's Beano, Telemos, Splendid on the inside. Bano Bay in the blue jacket, the lighter cap, Charlie Swan, held up a bit worse than midfield. On the outside, yellow cap, Montalcino, the great Pelagos. Then towards the rear, bounce back with the patiently ridden Barracuda today. And behind Barracuda only, It Takes Time and St Talbot. Takes Time, ridden well off the pace by Toby McCoy. Down towards the next flight. Gier de Cochet in the centre. Teatral on the inside, but it was still Boss Doyle who rose first in the orange sleeve jacket. Followed by Dino's Beano and Splendid on the rail. Telemos, nose-banded out wide Carlavant. Then Effectual tucked away from Bano Bay and Pelagos, and then Montalcino in the pink jacket bounced back towards the rear. It Takes Time, Barracuda, and finally Sir Talbot. On the run to flight number 6, with just over a circuit to go in this bonus sprint stayers hurdle. And it's Boss Doyle who's going to rise first once again from Gier de Cochet. Carlavant on the outside. A faller Sir Talbot, a tumbling fall there. Good to see the old horse get up. He seems none the worse, Sir Talbot. Nasty looking fall for Timmy Murphy. Keep you abreast of his condition. Meanwhile, the others pass the stands. Gier de Cochet, Boss Doyle, Carlavant, Dino's Beano, Teatral and Splendid the inside, then Telemos and Pelagos and Bano Bay, Montalcino, Effectual. Barracuda is now absolutely last under Thierry Dumoulin. He doesn't look too worried. The horse seems to be going all right, but he's got nothing but green grass behind him as they run down the back straight. The favourite Stone bonking last, and here's the next flight, flight number 7. Boss Doyle, Gier de Cochet, Carlavant on the outside, and then Splendid from Teatral. Dino's Beano is being pushed along, and then Pelagos, the grey, Telemos, Bano Bay bounce back. It Takes Time moves forward. Barracuda's passed a couple now. Effectual in rear with Montalcino labouring. Continuing along the back straight. Timmy Murphy still being attended to on the landing side of what will be the final flight as they jump this next one. Montalcino jumping raggedly in the rear. There's It Takes Time in the blue and green. Barracuda on his outside. They're making headway together as the field pack up now, climbing to the top of the course. And on to the next flight then This is flight number 10 they're coming to. It's 3 out, and it's Gers de Cochet from Boss Doyle, Splendid on the inside, then Carlavant and Telemos. After these is Bano Bay, and after that was Pelagos and Dino's Vino as well. They're going to miss the final flight here, so they've only got one flight left to take. They're doling off that final flight because Timmy Murphy is still being treated on the landing side following his fall from Sir Talbot. A long way still to go, but only one more to jump, and then there'll be a run-in with a turn of the best part of a half-mile. And it's Gers de Cochet and Telemos with Carlavant, and then Splendid. Bano Bay just in behind them, the blue jacket. It takes time, bounce back on the inside. Timmy Murphy has got to his feet now, and they're removing the dolls. They're removing the dolls. They're going to jump the last after all. Down towards 2 out, Carlavant, Gers de Cochet, and then Telemos is right there too. Splendid on the inside, Bano Bay in behind them. Barracuda is out wide and beginning to close now, and he looks strong as well, does the French horse. As they run towards the final turn, it's Telemos, Bano Bay travelling strongly. Also, It Takes Time, then Gers de Cochet, Barracuda just ran into the back of It Takes Time there. They straighten up now. A long run to the final flight is Telemos, Brian Harding, Bano Bay, Charlie Swan. He's got lots of horse under him, chased hard by It Takes Time and Barracuda and Thierry Dumaine, a horse that stays very, very well. They run to the final flight. Bano Bay is tackled by Barracuda on the inside. They rise together. Barracuda challenging Bano Bay. Then It Takes Time back in third. Barracuda on the inside, still going well. Bano Bay is trying to fight off the French horse, but very confidently ridden Barracuda by Thierry Dumaine. Now he asks the horse to go and win the race, and win the race he does from Bano Bay. They're clear of It Takes Time. Then Telemos and bounce back and Splendid and Gers de Cochet, Dino's Vino and Carlavant, a gap to Boss Doyle. And after Boss Doyle was Montalcino, Pelagos and Effectual. Tremendous race for this bonus Sprint Stayers hurdle. Thierry Dumaine has had his critics in this country, but he's ridden a very confident race here to win and looks highly delighted. Timmy Murphy had that fall from Sir Talbot. He's walking back with the Jockey Club's doctor, Dr. Michael Turner, and he looks okay after that fall. Thierry Dumaine ecstatic after his narrow win on Barracuda, a horse that's still unbeaten in this country. He rode the horse with tremendous confidence. He rode him like a top-class horse. He didn't do a tap in front Barracuda, but he was always holding Bano Bay in the final climb to the line.
Go on, go on.
Barracuda, criticised by Fatel for bookmakers going odds on for so long. Odds on this morning, back down with Corals, returned an amazing 13-8. Favourite Barracuda did touch 7-4 on the course and wins by a neck and 13 lengths. Barracuda, Barry Dennis's Bismarck, bookmakers to a man, took Barracuda on. They are now going to pay for that. Bano Bay, so well back down to 2-1 favourite, was runner-up. But it takes time third at 12-1. Barracuda, the 16th favourite of 52 runnings to win the bonus Sprint Stayers. In the 90s, Dawn, Pride, Balasani on an objection, and King's Curate. And you go back to the only odds-on chance ever to run in the bonus Sprint Stayers, Span for Ireland, who won at odds-on in 1948. But Barracuda, I have to say, all along the banker of the meeting, many other people do. The judges fielded against it, and they have now had to pay out at 13-8. A colossal return, wins the bonus Sprint Stayers, the champion stayer without a doubt.
Well, it was a wonderful finish, and the emotion that Thierry Dumaine feels, he's had a lot of flack. I think some of it justified too. But John, I think the French have a phrase, sang-froid. He certainly rode this with a lot of confidence.
Absolutely, didn't have a horse behind him with a circuit spread to go. They were taking along at a fair old pace with the other French runner, Gers de Cochet, and give credit where it's due. He's given this horse a wonderful ride. I thought he got into a little bit of a pickle turning for home. He didn't know which side of Tony McCoy, and It Takes Time to go, but he wanted to get in behind this other horse that was leading in Bano Bay. It was obvious which one was going best, and Charlie Swan, well, I couldn't imagine that he thought anything was going to come along and challenge him quite as easily as this horse did. Neither were foot perfect at the last, and it was just down to which one had the bit of speed at the end, and the French horse was holding him easily when it came into that department. Just hands and heels for Thierry Duman. Charlie Swan on this side just wanted this old horse to quicken up. They were leaving the others behind, but he just couldn't lay up with the other horse, whose hold, just have a look at his ears pricked. There's plenty more left there. Just for one split second when we watched it first time round, I thought, oh, I don't know whether he's going to go through with it, but he has. And I don't think he's remotely ungenuine. I just think he's a little bit of a character. Once his head put him in front on the line, he was in front a long way from home at Kempton last time. But no doubt that his time was run to perfection this time round. Third winner of the meeting for JP McManus. He paid a lot of money for this horse in First Gold. First Gold's just fallen by the wayside momentarily, but this fella keeps waving the flag forward.
It's high fives for Thierry Duman. The horse, as John's just been saying, you can see vividly there, cocks his ears, probably wasn't concentrating fully once he was in front. But well done to the Duman team. They got it right on the day. And 13 lengths back to the third. You think they were in a line the first four home at the last, and their first two have pulled 13 lengths clear. And how good does that feel? Celebration French style for the Barracuda team. I don't know what "go on you good thing" is in French, but they're certainly screaming it.
Yeah, they've had plenty of practice, having seen their team win the World Cup rugger and football, and certainly given a big thrill here this afternoon.
Best race of the meeting so far, John,
yeah,
I think.
Yes, I think we've had so many good races, but it was a quality race, and he's given it a wonderful ride.
And you couldn't blame young Mr. Duman if he is on this occasion a little teary.
Half an hour away from the Cheltenham Gold Cup as the celebrations go on in the winners' enclosure. The entry of the principal gladiator looks like trouble, and his team, it's been 2 years since he triumphed in the Gold Cup. He's had his problems, but Noel Chance and Team Chance have got looks like trouble, ready for his biggest test of his career, and that's in just half an hour's time. Meanwhile, back in the winners' enclosure, Thierry Duman, JP McManus, Francois Dumont, all in good order. We'll take a quick break. See you in a couple of minutes.
Wait till you meet the new iMac.
Let me get it.
No, let me.
Please, I insist.
Okay, thanks.
If only he had a Royal Bank of Scotland credit card, he'd be paying just 2.9% per annum until January 2003 on purchases and balance transfers. Handy for when a bill comes as a bit of a surprise. To apply for a credit card from the Royal Bank of Scotland, call 0800 16 16 16. Make it happen.
Think about part-time learning? Think the Open University. Call now on 0800 733 766. Think about the unbelievable sense of achievement. Think about the latest in computer communications. Think about the freedom to study and still do your job. Think about your own personal tutor and making new friends. Think about achieving your potential. Think part-time learning. Think the Open University. Call now on 0800 733 766 for your free prospectus. Do it now.
Now you can email video from wherever you are to wherever you want. The new Sony IP7, the world's first network Handycam IP.
Your pharmacist has everything you need to help you give up cigarettes. Nicotine gum, patches, or even sugar-free lollipops. And if you don't want to give up, well, my friends next door will take care of you.
Getting ready to stop? Call 0800 169 0169.
Jerry, well done. Snowdrop was good, but that was even better.
Yes, I was just saying that's not to be considered as a horse. This is he's something very special. He's very intelligent. When I tell him just to take it easy for a second and a half, he just sits there and doesn't mind one single bit. He goes in every ground. He is just amazing.
And Charlie Swan had plenty of horse under him still going to the last, but you always saw you'd pick him up.
I know that actually everything is left into him as long as I haven't yet asked anything. When I start asking him, he gives it all. So, you know, just have to sit back and wait, and I know everything will be there for me in time to use it.
Okay, and must be your greatest moment as a jockey, and everything went right, yeah?
Everything went right. I mean, the horse was just amazing, and it's always something riding the hottest favourite of the meeting and something else winning on it.
Well done.
He's
Cheers.
amazing. Thank you very much.
Still only 7 years old, as Thierry said, very sensible horse. Wonder whether they'll be going chasing with him next year. You can bet your life he's already schooled over fences. Whether they'll keep him to hurdles or what for next season, we don't know, but he's done the business. 13 runs and 11 wins for him.
I just had a quick chat with Charlie Swan about Banner Bay, and he said, I might have just come there just a bit too early. He said, all right, in hindsight, looking back, he said, I might have kicked and gone on at the last. He said, but it was a split-second decision. I was sitting with an awful lot of horse, and he just came and did him in what was a race for the line. So very open about that, and two good horses fighting out a tremendous finish. But I suppose the good thing in the meeting came home first.
Barracuda ridden with tremendous faith by Thierry Dumen, the 13-8 favourite, paid £2.70 for a win on the tote, places 150, 180 and 280, exacta £5.40. Southwell now, the 115 result, first number 3, the Scaffolder at 12-1, second number 2, Teffy at 8-1, and third number 12, Silver Elite at 6-4 favourite, non-runner number 5, 12 round. 145, first number 11, Visitation, 16-1. Second number 2, Hormuz at 11-4, and third number 3, Abakeen at 8-1. Cowboys and Angels was the beaten 6-4 favourite, 13 round. Hexham, the 225, first number 2, Cherry Tart at 9-4, second number 4, Baby G at 9-4, and third number 1, Cinder Hills at 9-1. One stop the 2-1 favourite, 5 round.
Well, we're in the pre-parade ring here, and there's an awful lot of people looking at the Gold Cup contenders, all look in terrific condition, none more so perhaps than best mate who's walking around there. Jim Lewis is with me. Jim, you say you've got past the nervous stage. How can you say that? Must be tremendously exciting.
Well, I think, you know, this is the third day, Mike, you know, and having consumed Guinness for the last 3 days, it's you do start to get a little bit more quieter, you know. But this is a big day for us today, and I've got all my best mates from everywhere, from South Africa, from France, and all over the place. And even some of the mates that couldn't get here, they're all rooting for us. And it's so special, you know. I just hope he runs a brilliant race. He's a young horse, isn't he, you know? And I hope he runs a great race and does himself credit and if he gets in the first 3, I'll be doing handstands.
It could be the first of many cracks at the race, Touchwood, Jim, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, he's a young horse. He's lacking in experience, and yeah, I mean, I think if he featured well today, you'd see him around for some time, I hope, eh? But thanks a lot, Mike.
Sorry, George.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Barracuda making it 9 wins in a row with that very exciting victory in the bonus sprint Stayers Hurdle. And once again, we'd like to say a big thank you to Bonus Sprint for their most generous sponsorship here at the National Hunt Festival. And it's a great pleasure to welcome into the winners' enclosure Mr. George Ward, the chairman of Bonus Sprint, who's joined us to present, first of all, the trophy for the winning owner of Barracuda. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please congratulate Mr. J.P. McManus.
In this Tote Gold Cup, 23 favourites have won in 73 runnings, and looks like Trouble is favourite at the moment, 5-1. That's the general price on the board. It's then 6-1 Bar, gone from 11-2, now 6-1 against Bacchanal, with 7-1 against Best Mate. It's then 10-1 Bar those. That brings in Alexander Banquet, Bay Rajan at 10-1, along with Florida Pearl at 10, 11-1 Shooting Light, and 12-1 Bar, which is Fox Chapel King and Marlborough, and 14 Bar those. Wide open, as I said, but they did go 6-1 the field in 1957. So not the most open Gold Cup of all times, but almost as hard to solve as any of them have been. Looks like Trouble 5-1 to retain his title.
With me now is Dean Gallagher, who, when did you find out you were going to ride Marlborough?
9 o'clock this morning. I had a phone call from my agent Dave.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts rang me this morning to say that we got the call.
Yeah.
And I said, "Are you sure? You sure? You sure?"
You thought he was having a go?
Yeah, he's having a go. But no, it was the truth, and so I'm really looking forward to it.
You must have had the greatest week in the history of the world, haven't you?
Well, so far it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, this would be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
First of all, I mean, it's a shame for Paul Carberry. What happened? His hand was bad, apparently.
Yeah, he had a bad fall yesterday. I could actually saw him fall. He just fell in front of me, and he had a nasty fall, and I think he was took off for X-rays. I'm not quite sure as he's broken it or what, but he's certainly he's feeling a bit sore today. Yeah.
You're the only guy in the world who could pull off the Champion Hurdle Gold Cup double this year. You know that?
Yeah, well, that'd be great. I mean, I was second to Norman. I think Norman was the last person that done it. I was second to him on Jupacilla when he won on Master Oak, so I hope to go one better today.
So what chance? I mean, you've seen the horse. Have you ridden the horse or anything like that?
No, I've seen him. I haven't ridden the horse at all, but I have seen him plenty of times going around. Richard Dunwoody rode him first, and then Mick's done a great job with him, getting him jumping. And hopefully I can, I've had a good chat with Mick already today, and Mr. Ogden and Sir Ogden, should I say?
Yeah.
And Mr. Henderson, and then we've had a good chat. So hopefully I'll do the job for them.
The bad news is I've tipped you to win.
Oh no!
Sorry, Dave.
Get your money back, please.
Good luck anyway.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Glad to report that Timmy Murphy, who had that fall on Sir Talbot in the bonus sprint Stayers Hurdle and was on the floor for some time, he's absolutely fine. He's been passed by the doctor and the clerk of the scales, and he does take the ride on Shotgun Willie in the Gold Cup.
Well, horses beginning to appear. Florida Pearl with Tracy's lass, the head lass, at Willie Mullins' yard. 10-1 chance, twice placed here before, of course, twice a winner at the festival. And the paddock beginning to fill up as the crowds, the post-Stayers Hurdle crowds, begin to filter out. But everyone who's got a badge to get in here gets here. One day, of course, there's going to be a problem and something will get loose and kick everyone. But the big event is upon us, and the finest chasers in the islands are gathering to go to war.
Back here at the pre-parade room, we've got Lady Madeline Lloyd-Webber with us, who's owner of proprietor of Bacchanal. Now, you seem to be getting... Yeah, it looks like this is Berrijan. You've got a show in Berrijan too, haven't you?
I do have a show in Berrijan, yes, a 7th. We put a syndicate together, and so I own one of the very small hooves. But Bacchanal I own all of them. We bought him as a yearling, so we've had him a long time. And he last ran at Cheltenham 2 years ago in the Stayers Hurdle.
Won a famous race from Limestone Lap.
Had a fantastic time, and he steamed up the hill, having not really jumped the hurdles very well.
Now, give it the punter's point of view, who would you give the best value? Berrijan each way or Bacchanal for the win?
I think Berrijan each way is a great chance. obviously Bacchanal, because we believe in him, but we have a little question mark over his jumping on a left-handed track. But we know that if he's right, which he is, he will try until the very end.
Nervous?
Very.
Well, enjoy it.
Thanks very much.
We'll get running one piece.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, the lady with 1 1/7 Gold Cup runners, she believes in Bacchanal. After Bacchanal had won the Aeon Chase at Newbury, I asked Mick Fitzgerald whether he thought the course and distance at Cheltenham would suit him.
I'd like to think so. And even if I don't believe it, I'm going to keep telling myself it. Because you have to. You know, it's the race to win. And it's the race that any owner, any jockey, any trainer wants to win more than any, especially for me. And he's got all the qualities that are required. We've just got to brush up his jumping.
Well, Mick Fitz, he thinks that Bacchanal will be all right round here. Bacchanal's certainly looking on very good terms with himself. Been the subject of the usual scare stories after the Aeon Chase, but all is well. And Nicky Henderson will have him primed to the very second for this, his most severe test. One thing, he will be sticky on up that hill. We saw that in the stairs hurdle. He's got a great attitude to the fight. The Tote Cheltenham Gold Cup then. The Grade 1 plum of the year. £174,000 goes to the winner. 3 miles, 2.5 furlongs. The jockey changes you've got: Roddy Green on Cypher Malta, Dean Gallagher on Marlborough, 18 run.
The 18 runners headed by Alexander Banquet at 10-1. Barry Geraghty rides. Bacchanal, Mick Fitzgerald, a 6-1 chance. It's Norman Williamson on Bayragen at 10-1. Best mate, Jim Cullity at 7-1. For Ireland, Comanche Court, a 25-1 chance, Ruby Walsh. Roddy Green replaces Tony Dobbin on Cypher Malta at 25-1. Florida Pearl, Conor O'Dwyer at 10-1. David Casey on Foxchapel King at 12-1. And the old fellow, Go Ballistic, Carl Llewellyn at 66-1. The Gold Cup winner looks like trouble. 5-1 favourite, Richard Johnson. On Lord Noailly, it's Richard Guest at 16-1. Dean Gallagher replaces Paul Carberry on Marlborough at 12-1. Moscow Express is the mount of Shea Barry at 66-1. Sackville, 33-1 for John Cullen. Another past Gold Cup winner, Seymour Business at 40-1. Joe Tizard in the saddle. The champ Tony McCoy rides Shooting Light at 11-1. Shotgun Willie, Timmy Murphy at 25-1. And finally, a grey, What's Up Boys, Paul Flynn in the saddle at 33-1.
Tremendous race this, £174,000 to the winner, and in flat race terms I don't think that's all that special. You think this is as good a race as you'll get in the season. Everything right for it, ground's perfect, maybe just a little bit on the windy side, but a field full of quality, a lot of festival form horses in here. Alexander Banquet, already a winner of the bumpers here. He's been placed in a Sun Alliance. He's done nothing wrong, a real doer, stayer, and when plenty of the others are getting tired, he'll still be going forward.
And if this fella jumps accurately, similar comments apply. He's got a tremendous gallop in him. not a particularly handsome horse, but a past Stayers winner. And as we say, jumping's the key to him. If he gets round, he's the one they've got to beat.
2 7-year-olds in the field. Here's the first of them, Bayrajan. Keeps galloping. He's run well in the Stayers here before, and like Alexander Banquet, will be doing his best at the end.
Best Mate, the best young horse in training over the last couple of seasons, looks the part, has improved with racing, second in the King George, every chance he can improve again.
Number 5 is Comanche Court. You could run this fella over any trip and he'd give you a good showing. He's won a Triumph Hurdle in the past. He's an absolutely top-class horse. Ted's horse is a little bit out of form, but he'll still run well.
Cypher Malta, a big race ride for Roddy Green, deservedly so. A horse has been plagued by injury, but very able if he's right.
The ground's come right for Florida Pearl. He's been placed in 2 Gold Cups. He's won a bumper here. He's won a Sun Alliance. He's 12 to 1 shot, and that's a big price for a King George winner.
I agree with John's comments there. Whether he gets the trip or not, he'll go well. Fox Chapel King, a horse in tremendous form, the form of his life, winner of his last 3 starts. He's got every chance if he jumps as well as he has been of late.
The old man of the field at 13, Go Ballistic, his 8th festival appearance. He's been second in a Gold Cup. He's a real genuine front runner, not front runner, but he'll love the course.
Looks like trouble. A really decisive winner of this race 2 years ago, had only 2 starts since, won both of those impressively. The first at Wincanton didn't tell us much other than he's in good heart.
He's a former winner of the Sun Alliance. So is the next horse we're going to look at, Lord Noley. One of 2 horses trained by Henrietta Knight. Went into a lot of notebooks when he was 4th in the Hennessy, but disappointed on this course in really heavy ground last time.
Paddock side packed here as the runners just organising themselves into parade order. Parade in race card order, unless special permission is received to do otherwise.
And if it's not packed at this, at this time of the afternoon for this race, it's never going to be.
Another chance ride for Dean Gallagher. And Marlborough, the most progressive staying chaser, or one of them over the last couple of seasons. A good reappearance effort after a breathing operation.
He's a good traveller in his races, Marlborough. I'd be surprised if he can reverse placings though with Bacchanal, who beat him at Newbury last time. Let's have a look for the beige colours now, and the black sleeves of Moscow Express. He'll be one of the outsiders, this fella, but in terms of enjoyment, well, he must have given his owners more pleasure than most of these. He's won 28 races, 50% strike rate, and Alexander Banquet just going through in front of Go Ballistic, Marlborough. The colours there of the grey horse, What's Up Boys, with the blinkers on for the first time. Graham Roach's colours, the horse with string halts. Shotgun Willie, Fox Chapel King and David Casey. He was keen on him this morning on the morning line. And then Jim Carlotti and Best Mate.
The Cheltenham Gold Cup field, leaving the paddock, making its way out onto the racecourse. We're going to take a quick break.
Excuse me, sir. You would like to see today's specials?
No, but I have something special for you. It is Benecol olive oil spread. It has the goodness of olive oil and it significantly reduces cholesterol. Don't worry, there'll be enough for everyone.
of intelligence.
Get 16 pages of top rating with the Daily Star every Saturday with the new Mega Starform. Read Mick Fitzgerald's exclusive column every week. Starform brings you the form guides that are even better than before. Everyone's getting it straight from the horse's mouth in the Daily Star.
If you want to deal with a credit card company that can give you an interest rate of just 0.9% PA on balance transfers fixed for 6 months, 15.9% APR variable, has no annual fee, and that's on the end of a phone 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, call MBNA now on 0800 092 7292. That's 0800 092 7292. And get today's kind of credit card.
Welcome back to Cheltenham, everybody. As the minutes tick away to the Gold Cup, there's a slight delay as they've had to pause for the fitting of a tongue strap to Moscow Express.
Yes, that was what we were saying. Winner of 23 of his 56 races. He's been a real good money spinner and given his owners plenty of enjoyment.
He's also trained by Francis Crowley. Sackville, a horse for whom big things were predicted after a fluent Weatherby win, but very disappointing since.
Yeah, he was a favourite for this race at the start of the season. This is a former winner of the Gold Cup. I can't see why he's 40 to 1. The ground's got a little bit of give in it. He ran well at Wincanton last time, following a good success earlier in the year.
And here's Shooting Light, who's already been a revelation for Martin Pipe and Tony McCoy this season. 3 wins in valuable handicaps. This is his biggest test to date.
Well, the West Country horse, Shotgun Willie, and there is good money for him this morning. If you look right the way back through his form, he's got one particular piece of form at Newbury where he beat First Gold. That's probably the reason for his support. He's a horse who on his day has lots of ability.
And finally, What's Up Boys? Got something to prove after a disappointing effort last time out. But the winner of the Hennessy early in the season, he's got blinkers on today.
The parade for the Cheltenham Gold Cup, headed by Berrajan. Second in 2 Hennessy's this season. He'll relish this test as he travels well off a strong pace. Alexander Banquet, bumper, festival bumper winner. Sun Alliance chase second, far from a plodder, and Willie Mullins has had a clear run into the race with him. Bacchanal, Stayers Hurdle hero, impressive in the Aeon, and will stick on unflinching to the end. Best Mate, classy, some doubt his stamina, but Henrietta Knight and Terry Biddlecombe are adamant he won't fail on that count. Comanche Court, Ted Walsh's Irish national winner, not a totally forlorn hope, but would like it even quicker underfoot. Following him up on the right, Cypher Malta, hugely talented, difficult to train, and though AP loves him, he's not on him. Florida Pearl, arguably better than ever this year, twice placed in this, must be in the shake-up, looked marvellous. Foxchapel King, another big improver this season, would like it a bit softer and still has a few pounds to find. Go Ballistic, Amazing old trooper, who's dealt with more problems than the Citizen Device Bureau. 8th festival. Looks like trouble. Well, unbeaten here at Cheltenham, Noel Chance has shown serious skills to get him here fit and fancy. Lord Noley, well, a Sun Alliance chase winner, ran a huge race in the Hennessy, would like even quicker ground. Marlborough, lightly raced, hold-up horse. He needs things to fall right for him, but he's a threat if they do. Moscow Express, they find he's jumping under pressure around here, and the rank outsider. Sackville seems to have lost his way since the autumn. His current price shows you what sort of form he's in. Seymour Business, 3 years since his finest hour, but there was still fire in the belly at Wincanton last time. Shooting Light, AP's choice. If he gets the trip, improves a bit more, he'll take a hand. Shotgun Willie touted at long prices this morning, but it's a hard call to fulfill the promise he's shown in this country. And what's up, boys? Spectacular Coral Cup winner, Hennessy winner, and blinkered for the first time.
Bookmakers did go 11-2 for a moment, looks like trouble, but it's into 5-1, and many are showing 9-2 against it. Then 6-1 Bacchanal with 7-1 Best Mate. Support coming for Florida Pearl, they take the 12. That's now a 10-1 chance, Florida Pearl, with 12-1 against Alexander Banquet. Also 12-1 a week, Bayrajan. Fox Temple King holding at 12. And it's 12-1 against Marlborough, with 14 and 16-1 bar those. But it's fascinating to know that the last 13 title holders, and that brings in Looks Like Trouble, the 5-1 favourite, to run in the Gold Cup, have all been beaten. And Seymour Business was the last to do it. He was 9-4 favourite that year. He's now 40-1 today, only 4th to Looks Like Trouble. Jodami, for instance, was runner-up to the fellow. Poor old Desert Orchid was odds-on with 3rd to Norton's Coin at 100-1, and Ladikla was runner-up to Captain Christie. 36 times the reigning champion defended his title, just 10 have won.
He's also an 11-1 chance.
Well, lovely to see Desert Orchid leading the parade of champions. And look, Janice Coyle on the inside, leading him. She looks just as happy, John, as in the days when she was leading up at the races.
Well, she will be happy. She's got a man there beside her. And we've seen him so often since he retired. And every time you see him, you're just amazed at how well this horse looks. Absolutely tip-top condition.
How many pages? And this is how they bet. Looks Like Trouble. Just drifted out for a second, but back to 5-1 favourite. Bacchanal a 6-1 chance. Best Mate is 7s. On 10s, Berrajan and Florida Pearl tightened up from 12s. Berrajan just out to 12, so Florida Pearl's got the call over him. Alexander Banquet also a 12-1 chance, along with Fox Chapel King and Marlborough and Shooting Light. It's 16-1 bar those. Well, Looks Like Trouble. The punters have had him on their side for this for the last few weeks. Since Wincanton, Noel Chance have proved that the horse, flamboyant jumper, thorough stayer, was never given the credit he deserved for his Sun Alliance, with all the headlines about Nick Dundee's injury. And he won his Gold Cup in real good style. It's 2 years, 2 long years for festival fans since he last had a go. He looks in good order for the repeat bid. As the jockeys fiddle with their goggles, the crowd settling, lawns in front of the stands, and the hard standing area in the bookmakers' zones absolutely packed to the gunnels. Let's have a look at the eye catchers, see what the team thought really did catch the eye. Florida Pearl for Franks and Jim, and I couldn't agree more, he looked outstanding. Berrajan and Lord Nolley for Simon. In the betting ring, Florida Pearl, money for Shotgun Willie this morning, and easy Alexander Banquet and Berrajan to call this cracking Gold Cup. 18 runners, 3 1/4 miles, Simon Holt.
Showpiece event of the National Hunt season. They're asked to turn a compelling prospect Jockey's anxious to get a good position despite this 3 1/4 mile distance. The voice of starter Simon Morant.
Take them back and stay there till I tell you to come in again. Go back to the marker pole. Go back to the marker pole.
Months and months of preparation leading up to this moment.
I'm not starting you yet. Go back. Go on, Timmy Murphy, you've been told what to do.
Starter getting quite strict now.
Right, now sort yourselves out again. Don't get on top of the gate, though. Don't get on top of it. Come on, use some sense. Now all of you go back and go to the marker pole, and this time don't get back into the gate. On you go.
There are some frayed nerves out there. Looks like trouble has gone to 9-2 now.
Just wait.
The crowd are on tenterhooks.
Come on!
The roar goes up that sends the Gold Cup runners on their way. They go towards the first of 22 fences, 18 runners. Lord Knowley on the inside looks like trouble in the firing line with Seymour Business. Cypher Malta was the last to land over fence number 1. They've got 2 circuits of the course in front of them, and it's the reigning Gold Cup winner. Looks like trouble that rises first with Seymour Business at the second. Lord Knowley is third in the green jacket on the inside then, followed by Shotgun Willie and Go Ballistic and Florida Pearl, very handy. After Florida Pearl, Bacchanal is out wide, and then on the inside in yellow, Berajan from Fox Chapel King and Shooting Light wider. Best Mate is next, followed by Comanche Court and Sackville's up the inside, followed through by Moscow Express. Towards the back at this still very early stage, Marlborough held up. Also at the back, Alexander Banquet, Cypher Malta and What's Up Boys. At the next, the first in the back straight, Looks Like Trouble, jumps it boldly in the lead. In the noseband from Seymour Business, Lord Knowley on the inside with Shotgun Willie close up, Go Ballistic, the red and white jacket, the horse of the white face out wide is Florida Pearl, wider out is Bacchanal and then Shooting Light. Berajan is in the ruck in the yellow, and then Comanche Court with Alexander Banquet and Best Mate towards the outside. Jim Cullity as they jump the next, that's an open ditch, 1 or 2 ragged jumps there. What's Up Boys was just about the last to land. The next a plain fence, and it Looks Like Trouble and Richard Johnson from Seymour Business in second place, and then Lord Knowley, Florida Pearl, Shotgun Willie, and then Sackville on the inside of Go Ballistic and Fox Chapel King and Berajan and Comanche Court as they approach the next. Big open ditch. Looks Like Trouble over safely. Cypher Malta a slight mistake on the inside. Shooting Light has lost his position and is trailing along with What's Up Boys as they race towards the next plain fence going towards the top of the hill. Looks Like Trouble. There's so little racing in the last couple of years. He still leads by a couple of lengths or more to Seymour Business. Then Lord Knowley and Florida Pearl. Fox Chapel King and Shotgun Willie into about 6th place. Then Best Mate on the inside of Berajan as they head to this next tricky plain fence with a bit of a drop on the landing side. Looks Like Trouble jumping very well from Seymour Business. Most of the others negotiate it safely as they start down the hill. Shooting Light is the back marker. Last but one is What's Up Boys. And Looks Like Trouble from Seymour Business and Lord Knowley. Shotgun Willie on the inside. Go Ballistic, Best Mate, Comanche Court. Leader jumps sharply away to his right there. Looks Like Trouble. He's lost a bit of concentration going into that fence. Looking to the midfield runners, Berajan with Moscow Express. Marlborough held up behind horses. Sackville on the inside. Cypher Malta runs up against the fence. Then Alexander Banquet and Shooting Light. Looks Like Trouble went off the 9-2 favourite to win his second Gold Cup. And they've completed a circuit past their starting point then and on towards the next plain fence. Seymour Business ranges up and rises just ahead of Looks Like Trouble. A mistake by Lord Knowley when disputing third. Reminders for Shotgun Willie. Fox Chapel King is right there in the black and white hoops. Florida Pearl still racing prominently and strongly, though didn't get very high at that plain fence. They're all still standing. Shooting Light is absolutely last as they pass the stands with a circuit to go, and it Looks Like Trouble by a half length selected to Seymour Business. Then Foxchapel King and Lord Noailly and Florida Pearl and Bay Regin. Shooting Light is pulling up. Bacchanal and Best Mate lobbing along on the inside. Then Shotgun Willie is hard at work. Comanche Court is next. After Comanche Court is Marlborough, and then Sackville, Moscow Express, Cypher Malta, Go Ballistic, Alexander Banquet, and finally What's Up Boys Shooting Light, having been pulled up passing the stands at the next plain fence. And it was still Seymour Business along with Looks Like Trouble. They come close together on the flat as they now run towards the water jump once again. Out wide Florida Pearl of Foxchapel King, and then Lord Noailly and Bay Regin at this water. And these are followed by Best Mate and also by Bacchanal in the pink colours, beginning to get into the race now. Mick Fitzgerald. Lord Noailly still on the inside in the green at this next open ditch. Barrajan was a slow jumper there. And now towards another plain fence. A reminder for Bacchanal, given the hurry up. Onto the next plain one. Still Looks Like Trouble and Seymour Business. The two past Gold Cup winners are still showing their rivals the way here. They know which way round it goes here at Prestbury Park. Best Mate travelling very strongly on their heels now. Lord Noailly, his stable companion on the inside as they jump this next big open ditch. Looks Like Trouble over in front from Seymour Business. Shotgun Willie is tailing right off. Cypher Malta is also in trouble. Another plain fence. Richard Johnson steals a half glance on the leader. Looks Like Trouble. He sees Seymour Business on his outside as they jump the next plain one, followed by Foxchapel King and Best Mate, and then Lord Noailly behind these. They've only got 4 to jump. Comanche Court and Florida Pearl are still right there, and Marlborough is beginning to get into the race as well. They run towards the 4th last then, back to this tricky fence. Looks Like Trouble and Seymour Business as they take it. They're in the air together. Best Mate over in 3rd, still coasting along for Jim Cullity. Then Foxchapel King and Comanche Court. Florida Pearl on the outside, followed by Lord Noailly, Marlborough, Sackville, Moscow Express and Alexander Banquet. This is the 3rd last fence in the Coach Cheltenham Gold Cup, and old Seymour Business, the winner in '99, took it first, but Best Mate looks a big threat on the inside. Looks Like Trouble and Comanche Court still there with every chance, and they are clear of Foxchapel King and Marlborough. Running round the final turn, Seymour Business challenged now by Comanche Court, a past Triumph Hurdle winner at this meeting. Cullity begins to nudge away on Best Mate. They've got 2 fences left to jump then, and Comanche Court takes over, going to 2 out. Comanche Court rises first, dives at it. Seymour Business, Best Mate over on the inside. They've got 1 fence left to jump now, and it's Best Mate who takes over narrowly to Comanche Court. Here's the final fence. Best Mate, he lands ahead. 2 lengths to the good over Comanche Court. Then in 3rd is Seymour Business, and they climb up the Cheltenham Hill. It's Best Mate, the horse who promised so much. Comanche Court is fighting back in 2nd place, but Best Mate is as good as they thought he was, and he wins the Gold Cup from Comanche Court. In 3rd is Seymour Business, a wonderful run, followed home by Marlborough. Behind Marlborough then, What's Up Boys and Alexander Banquet. Moscow Express next. They were clear of Cypher Malta and Foxchapel King. Then Lord Noailly and Florida Pearl and Bacchanal and Bay Regin. Looks Like Trouble has walked past the judge in the end and dismounted by Richard Johnson. Sackville didn't finish either. No, neither too did old Go Ballistic, making his 8th appearance here. Best Mate, the 7-year-old in the colours of Jim Lewis. There's Terry Biddlecombe, who was such a hero here at Cheltenham in his riding days, overcome with emotion here. Now the husband of Best Mate's trainer, Henrietta Knight. They are jumping's most popular couple. A truly romantic tale. And this horse, who was 2nd to Florida Pearl in the King George at Kempton. Before that race, they weren't entirely sure that he would stay the distance. He stayed it well today, and he's the Gold Cup winner.
Jim, doesn't get any better than that, Jim.
Actually, well, I obviously he's a good horse, but I made a couple of mistakes and had to sit in him for a minute, but he always comes back on it, you know. Yeah. He's just got the engine there, you know.
He always was cruising behind them there, wasn't he?
Always cruising, and I got squeezed a little bit. Joe has come across me, but I wasn't panicking because I didn't really want to be there that soon anyway.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd wait for this split when they straighten up, and left it then, got his picked up.
You were so relaxed yourself, Jim. You seem very cool. Well done.
I don't know about that now.
Well, the defining moment of your career, you'll never forget this.
No, never. Thank you.
Well done.
Well, a wonderful moment. It's been a poignant season for Henrietta Knight. She lost her mother, to whom she was very close, in November. This is a horse she's always believed in. She said after he won at Sandown last year that he's so good he thinks he's Arkle. Well, there'll never be one Arkle, but John, this is a pretty impressive horse.
A wonderful performance. Turned for home, both he, Comanche Court and Seymour Business. They travelled and jumped. Jim said he made a couple of mistakes, which he did, but he travelled well throughout the race. Oh, Seymour, at 12 years of age, has run his heart out. And this fella, he's the youngster, he's only 7, and he's got a huge future, this horse. They're toying with the idea of running him in the 2-mile champion chase, but Edward Onblue is always marked up for that one. And I'm really pleased for Jim Culotti, because he's done a lot of work at Henrietta's. He rides the majority of the horses, but he's behaved particularly well when he's not got the ride on some of the other horses, like Edward Onblue, had to sit in on the sidelines and watch. But this is a perfect way to have been repaid. Really good lad, good horseman, good jockey.
And we saw Terry Middlecombe earlier, John, who won this race in 67 on Woodland Venture, second on Domacorn. He's a local hero.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's done particularly well, Terry. It's been great to see him team up with Henrietta over the last few years. A really good combination. Genuine country people, and this horse always being the apple of their eye.
Jim Culotti returning in triumph on Best Mate. An absolutely fabulous result for the game, this too. He's a proper horse, one of the 2 7-year-olds in the field, and a fantastic prospect for the future. And wonder where Henrietta Knight watched the race from. She's alongside now. Here she is emerging from her bolt hole. She's trained the winner of the Cheltenham Gold Cup, and reticence turns into hurry. She's off to find her hero. Her defining day in her training career.
John was just saying what a wonderful combination they are. Terry has a sense of humour. Henrietta's got one too, but she takes things very seriously. She loves horses, devoted to them. I suppose you could say that Terry takes the plugs out, the fuses out, when no one else dare go near.
What is this feeling like? Describe it.
How can you possibly expect or have the audacity to win a Gold Cup? He's only a young horse. I've had some good fun in my day, Derek. I never ever thought that I could win a Gold Cup. To win a Gold Cup with a horse so young, I could cry, Derek.
I bet you
But
could.
I could love it.
You started all those years ago
Yeah.
watching your favourite team, Aston Villa, on the
Aston Villa,
terraces.
yeah, and they lifted me in for nothing.
Really?
But I must tell you very quickly, Dave, please.
It's all right.
Trevor Evans is waiting at home. Good mate of mine, couldn't be here. Martin Lowell, that's my son-in-law, and all my mates are here from South Africa, and we're going to have one ball if you've ever seen, I tell you. And Callow End, look out, Bubba.
I think your horse is coming.
Right, okay.
Enjoy the moment. Lucky
Thank
Jim
you, Derek.
Lewis.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks a lot.
Best Mate still on his way. Jim Lewis and Jim Culotti shaking hands. Triumphant moment for them. He's just ahead of them. The old warrior in the enclosure, Seymour Business, returned to a thumping reception. He's run his heart out at the age of 12. Fantastic performance from him. Marchie Cord also in here. An exultant Jim Lewis. He's had some fair old horses. Edward Onblue, Best Mate. Let's hear him come home. The triumphant connections in the Gold Cup.
wonderful moments and a fantastic looking horse this. And to be fair, I didn't think that he reversed the placings with Florida Pearl judged on the King George run-in, but Cece Vesti, Henrietta's sister there, congratulating her, and also Alistair Down.
Oh, she'll kiss anyone, Hen.
Henrietta, I hear you watched every fence.
I did.
That's a first. Where were you?
Watching Little Press Tent with Jonathan Powell and Edgy.
And you've always believed this horse would get this trip and that he was pure class.
I've always said he was the perfect racehorse. And I knew he'd stay 3 miles and plus.
And Jim gave him a tremendous ride.
Super ride. Always had him in the right place. I still couldn't believe it. When Edgy said, you'll win, Hen, you'll win, Hen. I still couldn't believe it.
And bought the sort of point-to-point route out of Ireland. You and Terry on one of your trips.
Yes, Lismore point-to-point, spotted by Terry.
Absolutely brilliant. And, you know, did you have any worries in the early stage of the race? There were a couple of mistakes Jim referred to.
Same fence twice.
Yeah.
Just slightly dropped him, but otherwise it was magic.
Yeah, absolutely. And how is it that you managed to find the courage to watch after all these years, as they say?
Well, I thought I'd better pull myself together one day.
Well, no finer occasion on which to do it. A hugely popular result, and I think Terry will be in reasonable form after this.
Yeah, so he'll be all right tonight.
Well, fantastic day, and congratulations from all of us.
Thank
well
you
done,
very
Hen.
much. Thank you, Alistair.
Great sense of humour, well done now.
John, I remember saying to Hen years ago, everybody in racing thought Terry Biddlecombe was brave when he survived 48 broken bones, but they absolutely knew it the day he walked down the aisle with her.
No doubt about that. He's just a real good lad, Terry. We went round to have a look at this horse a couple of weeks ago, and he was out chasing some fox around that had been sitting on the duck pen for most of the evening before. But let's take another look at this. Let's not forget this second and third home. They've run their hearts out. This Comanche Court, he's won a St. Ledger on the flat, he's won the Triumph Hurdle, he's won an Irish National, second in a Gold Cup today. He's a wonderful horse, and Dermot Desmond must be thrilled with the way he's run, and also all the connections of Seymour business. But for today, this youngster, 7 years old, travelled and galloped and jumped, and well, Henrietta Knight never lost faith in him. Jim Culotti off with a broken arm when he took his chance in the King George at Kempton on Boxing Day, but in the right place today, and in the right place throughout the race as well, never left the inside.
Special day for Jim Cullity, who broke his arm early in the season, couldn't take the ride in the King George, was brave enough and honest enough to say, I can't ride this, I can't do it justice. And as we've seen on virtually every winning occasion this week, when one of these jocks wins, the vast majority are thrilled for their colleague. It's what sets this aside as a sport.
A fantastic reception for Best Mate. Reception, a lot of it I think about the fact that people think they've got a real horse for the future here. He's only 7, the sort of start the game looks for. We're going to take a quick break, rejoin us in a couple of minutes.
You won't believe this. You've won the jackpot. You've got a fortune. Oh, at last you can retire and leave all this to me.
But, Fox, why should I? Can't you see I've already made a mint?
Hey?
Made a mint.
Yes, yes, yes.
Cool, clear, refreshing Fox's Glacier mints. Clearly a better mint.
Hello, Learn Direct. How can I help? Oh, no. It's for you, obviously. Sorry. Learn Direct, independent advice on courses. How can I... Hello, Learn Direct. Which course?
To a Learn Direct advisor, every call is important. If you'd like dedicated help on finding the right course, just give us a call on 0800 100 900.
Learn Direct, how can I help? Oh. Hello, Learn Direct.
Learn Direct, the National Learning Advice Line. Now you can email video from wherever you are to wherever you want. The new Sony IP7, the world's first network handycam IP.
If he can find the back of the net with this shot, the cup is there. What must be going through that young man's head, young man's head, young man's head. Will he be going home to a hero's welcome tonight?
Welcome back. In a race like that, it's really sad anyone has to be beaten, and trainers of the seconds and thirds, Ted Walsh and Paul Nicholls, hard to be second and third, but they ran great races.
Yeah, it's hard to be second. Paul is all right. He's already won a Gold Cup. I haven't won one, and I only know better than anybody listening or looking how hard it is to win a Gold Cup. I've seen people here for 25 years, 50 years, never good enough to win one. And I hope I'll get my turn. It was a privilege to be second to such a good horse and beat a Gold Cup winner. But I must say I'm heartbroken at the moment.
And how's Ruby?
Well, I don't know. He's young. He's only 22. He's a bit of time on his side. It was a wonderful occasion, but I'm delighted for the horse. Delighted he ran so well, and I only hope I'll get back here again someday.
Oh, you will. And Paul, you...
Maybe rinkery.
Absolutely. You were thrilled with your fella.
It's like winning all over again. I mean, delighted with him. Obviously, very good young horses won the race. He's a star of the future. Seymour's been there and won the race, and I was just elated for the horse to come out and run so well.
Well, I mean, going round, he actually 2 from home. John Franklin said he'll stay on through them. He's got this. I mean, he just jumped round beautifully.
Yeah, it jumped brilliant. Joe gave him a fantastic ride. He's really riding at the top of his form. It was great for him to have a chance to ride him. And just for the horse, he's gone, he's jumped, he's galloped. Best Mate was always going well in behind them. Just to be in the first 3 is a marvellous achievement for the horse.
And the line about the winner?
Oh, he's a future star. He is a star, isn't he? He's very, very hard to beat over the next few years, especially as he gets older.
I don't know, your fellow's not done too badly getting older.
You know, he's a wonderful, been a privilege to train him.
Well done.
Thanks very much.
Paul.
And what about the pedigree? Well, he's by the top-class French mile-and-a-quarter horse, Undesperado, and easily his best representative. Although this horse has got although he ran on the flat for Sheikh Mohammed, the dam cat dates from a really good jumping family further back. Horses like, we could go through a number of them, but ones that viewers will know is Ventana Canyon, who won the Arkle for Richard Dunwoody and Dermot Well, and Eddie O'Grady a few seasons back.
And the old coat.
With me, the power behind the throne, Terry Biddlecombe. A marvellous day for you and Hen.
Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it? And he was prepared for the day. He's never been over-raced. He's only a young horse. And Jim rode him specifically to the orders. He never done anything. He never let me down. I said, we're in that last bend. I said, you kick that inner. Jump the last, second last on the inner. It's a bit smaller.
Now, when I was 11, you won this race on Woodland Venture. How does it compare?
Totally too. I mean, this compares much greater, I think. There's more work put into it.
And the long
months ride them.
And the long months and years of belief in this horse. You've always thought he was really something exceptional.
Went to Porting Point in Ireland. I saw him walking around the paddock. I watched him in the race. It's very, very heavy ground. He pulled up 3 out, and I said, Hen, we buy that. And Tom Costello, an amazing judge of a horse, he said, have we wait until he wins a little race? And he won a 2-horse race, then we bought him.
That's the way to do it.
And he's had his ups and downs for being beat on occasions, but always run very credible races.
And no doubt about him getting the trip. He was bought for this sort of job.
Well, he won a 3-mile point of points at 4-year-old. I mean, there was never any doubt in my mind he was going to get the trip. But he's got a bit of toe as well, you know.
He has. You've had a great day, and now you can afford to buy yourself a new hat.
Well, I had one yesterday. I got rid of, put my old one back on.
Okay, Terry. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Steeplechase Company, may I thank the Tote, and in particular its chairman, Mr. Peter Jones, for their most valued sponsorship of this year's Tote Cheltenham Gold Cup. The Tote is racing's biggest commercial sponsor, and its support of the Level Weights Championship of the British Steeplechasing is greatly appreciated by us all. And once again, we have seen a truly marvellous race, won in great style by Best Mate. And it is now with the greatest pleasure that I invite your Royal Highness to present this famous trophy to Mr. and Mrs. Jim Lewis and their dear friend Marcus Euster.
To many a judge's eye, just about the perfect racehorse. Best Mate, at the age of 7, has climbed the ultimate pinnacle in jump racing. He's a Cheltenham Gold Cup winner. Jim Calotti has brought him home, ridden confidently, exultant at the end. He knew what he was on. Best Mate has produced the goods, and what of the future? God willing, they'll be injury-free, and we'll see him back here at Cheltenham in years to come.
And the trainer, my sister-in-law, Henrietta Knight. And the jockey, Jim Calotti. And the lass who looks after Best Mate, Jackie Jenner.
Well, Jackie Jenner led up Edredon Bleu yesterday. Best Mate today, Jim Lewis, rightly exultant. One of those proper owners, you can just see the enjoyment he gets. He's helpful to everybody, fantastic fellow. And Henrietta Knight, this is a result for jumping's old values, its old backbone. Point-to-point enthusiasts came up through that side of the game. And of course, her alliance with Terry Biddlecombe has elements of the fairy story, but it's the most professional outfit you could imagine.
Could be better, could be worse. That's the bookmaker's reaction to Best Mate's win in the Tote Gold Cup. Anti-post books are a loser, of course, and he's been well backed throughout the winter. The one doubt about the horse is whether he stayed. Had punters been convinced he would stay, he would certainly have gone off favourite. He's the 15th horse to be beaten in the King George at Kempton. He was runner-up to Florida Pearl to come on and win that season's Tote Gold Cup. So really popular with a lot of people, 7-1, that Best Mate. Now, as for Looks Like Trouble, it's the 14th consecutive time that the title holder has come back to Cheltenham and failed to retain his title. A desperate run. That's a bad omen next year for Best Mate, who's put in 8-1 favourite for next year's Tote Gold Cup with Paddy Power, and also with Ladbrokes go 8-1 against Best Mate. Comanche Court, what a great race he ran for, to be placed. Some Irish people were on that each way. Seymour Business, a screaming race. Seymour Business, the 1999 title holder, ran. A lot of people thought that was a big price of 50 and 40-1, and that was the return. And Marlborough, some bookmakers paid 4th place. Marlborough 12-1 would be a loser for them. So all in all, bookmakers haven't done too much, not won too much, not lost too much. It depends which firm they are. But I thought the whole shot of the whole meeting was Henrietta Knight diving out. Now, if I had a greyhound and it came out of the traps as fast as Henrietta Knight dashed out to go and greet her horse, Henrietta Knight, absolutely amazing. The pace she shows there, I wish I owned her. I won't say anything else like that, but Henrietta Knight, as a greyhound, going to greet her horse Best Mate. They are Best Mates. And as for Terry Biddlecombe, the great cavalier that we all remember, how great a moment this must be, as when he won a Woodland Venture in '67.
And this horse, Best Mate, they're doing all the interviews here for the racecourse. This guy behind me, a Dutchman, bred this horse. Jacques Van Hart bred the horse in Ireland. And this horse was the 6th horse, the Gold Cup winner, sown by Tom Costello over there. Now, the news on the other horses is this. Looks Like Trouble. He's pulled up sore. He was right there, as you know, with Every Chance, but he weakened on the run-in, and he was eventually pulled up by Richard Johnson. Now, he doesn't know if he's lame or anything, but he said he's pulled up sore. Noel Chance said he knew the horse was in trouble after jumping just 2 fences. So, and he's not going to subject this horse to this sort of company or run against these sort of horses again unless he convinces himself that he's absolutely right. So we'll wait to see what happens with Looks Like Trouble. He could just be in a bit of a problem. And Florida Pearl, he was disappointing according to Willie Mullins. He had Every Chance. He made a bad mistake for he finished with a little nick, but he's not lame. And as for Shooting Light, he was pulled up early on, and he looks as if he's gone a bit lame. More on that later.
We exchange faxes every weekend, you know. And you know, she used to be a teacher, and she sends us back with the correction.
Well, the upcoming live action is the Christie's Fox Hunters. This is the Amateurs Gold Cup, and effectively David Pike's Horus heads the market at 3-1. Joe Blake's 11-2. Edward O'Grady's Sheltering at 6s. Gunnar Welburn 7s. £10 worth 10s. Tour Express also 10-1. Manila Silver in last year's runner-up Real Value 12-1. They go 14s bar. While we collect our thoughts after that spectacular Gold Cup, and if you like, the coronation of Best Mate, we'll take a quick break.
And now it's time for the Amateur's Glory.
The Citroën Zara Picasso. Free your mind. Celebrate the success of Britain's best-selling MPV and get a new 1.6 ISX for only $11,995 with air conditioning at no extra cost until the end of March.
Where can you go? Who do you turn to when you have a debt problem? Baines & Ernst are helping people in debt get their lives back together. 8 out of 10 clients said they would recommend Baines & Ernst to family and friends. And 9 out of 10 said this service had a positive impact on their lives. If you have a debt problem, they can reduce your monthly payments by up to 80% and turn them into one single affordable monthly payment. So call Baines & Ernst now. Free on 0500 0500 74. Call now.
Fires started by cigarettes kill more than any other. Put it out. Right out.
If he can find the back of the net with this shot, the cup is there. What must be going through that young man's head, young man's head, young man's head? Will he be going home to a hero's welcome tonight?
Patients often worry much more than they need to. The more you're kept informed about your treatment, the better you'll feel. Patients who understand what's going on tend to experience less anxiety, less stress, and recover more quickly.
At Bupa, everyone is dedicated to your health, comfort, and peace of mind.
Bupa, the personal health service.
Hospitals,
Health assessment,
health insurance,
care homes.
Welcome back to Cheltenham, everybody. Well, after a Gold Cup, as it comes to its climax, you'll always find around the racecourse scenes of private jubilation. That's Bridget Nichols, who's assistant to Henrietta and Terry Biddlecombe in the furry hat, rushing off, knowing that they've clinched the Gold Cup, and a big hug for Jackie Jenner, the lass. I think Jim Lewis will probably stick to the day job in the furniture business. Let's have a look at the shape of the Fox Hunters. 26,000 to the winner. Not with us is Telra Nipper. 20 runners and riders from Simon Holt.
was a great lyric, wasn't it? They're headed by Cool Abbey here, another big field. This is the Fox Hunters Championship. Cool Abbey, 33-1 Fergus King. Neil Harris on County Derry at 25s at 33-1. Dry Highline and Christian Ward Thomas at 50-1. Epsilo de Laurence and Tim Dennis. Then Fair Wind and Michael Miller at 14s at 15-2. One of the leading contenders, Gunnar Welburn and Rowan Cope. The favourite is Horus, trained by Martin Pipe's son David. Ashley Farrett in the saddle, 3-1 favourite. Joe Blake for Ireland at 6-1. Liam Lennon. Last Option and Fiona Needham at 16-1. At 20s, Look in the Mirror, Angelica Nolan, Manella Silva and Richard Burton at 12-1. Mr. Miller and Harry Fowler at 40-1. Filter is ridden by Adrian Wintle at 33-1. Real Value, second last time, 14-1. Andrew Hickman, Romney Chat and Paul Cowley at 100-1. Sheltering, another leading Irish hope, Philip Fenton in the saddle at 6-1. Smile Please is the mount of Tim Stevenson at 100-1. Tasman Tyrant and Les Jefford at 33-1. £10 worth for Ireland. Leo Gracie at 14-1, and Torduff Express, ridden by Polly Gundry, Blinker Today, Torduff Express, 10-1.
Well, many of these look well. Some old favourites, some young ones. 2 7-year-olds in the race, Horus and Joe Blake, but it was one of the older ones, Torduff Express, who took the eye in the paddock. One of the younger ones who took it going to the start, Horus. Having just seen a 7-year-old gallop home in the Gold Cup, will it be a similar age horse here? Horus and Joe Blake. Simon will tell us there's sure to be a furious gallop.
Actually, there's a couple of Grand National horses, possible Grand National horses here, John. The horse you were mentioning earlier that Polly Gundry rides, Torduff Express, and Gunnar Welburn, who won the Aintree Fox Hunters last year. And there's a young, promising horse, as you mentioned, the 2 7-year-olds, Joe Blake and Horus.
They go a very fast pace in the early stages of this race. Some of them really struggle to last home. Horus, the 3-1 favourite. Joe Blake 11-2. Sheltering 6-1. Gunnar Welburn at 8-1.
I said back to the marker pole. Take them back, all of them. Take them back to the marker pole where you were told to go.
Same old record.
All of you, back to the marker pole. And stay there until I tell you to line up again. Right, get yourselves straight. Come on!
And they're on their way then for the Christie's Fox Hunters. A big field towards the first of 22 fences, the full Gold Cup course and distance. And Dry Highline is going to take off first at the opening obstacle. The last to land, Manella Silva. It's Dry Highline with Sheltering on the inside, Joe Blake in a red cap, Torduff Express and Romney Chat on the outside. Then Look in the Mirror as they landed over that. Back on the inside behind these, Fair Wind and also Cool Abbey, followed by Filter and County Derry, and then Manella Silva. And Manella Silva is Last Option. Then the favourite Horus, Mr. Miller. Behind runners is Gunnar Welburn and then Real Value from £10 worth. And right out the back in these early stages, Epsilo de Laurence and also Tasman Tyrant and Smile Please is last. Dry Highline takes the third fence with a clear lead, though hit it hard. Mistake by County Derry back in the field. They're all surviving at this stage, however, at the water jump. Dry Highline with Torduff Express and Romney Chat second and third, and Sheltering and Joe Blake. And those then not far off them is Look in the Mirror. An open ditch now. Dry Highline getting a good jump this time from Torduff Express and Romney Chat, Joe Blake, and back on the inside Filter then with close-up Cool Abbey. And Look in the Mirror on the outside. Horus in a green jacket in about 10th at the moment. On the outside, Ashley Farrant. A long way to go. Just behind Horus is Gunnar Welburn in all dark blue on the inner. Just ahead of Gunnar Welburn, Last Option, and the grey Manella Silva. Sheltering has blundered away the rider there. Bad mistake. One of the leading contenders, Sheltering. Philip Fenton on the deck as they head to the next plain fence. And it's Dry High Line. The loose horse Sheltering is going to run across them here. And that was a nasty moment for the leading 2 or 3 horses. Toured Up Express on the outside of Dry High Line. And then in behind these is Romney Chat with Filter on the inside. As they run to this next playing field, this loose horse could cause problems. Again jumps to the right, distracting Dry High Line and Toured Up. And Horus made a mistake there. Ashley Farrant was thrown right forward in the saddle on the favourite. They're getting well and truly strung out, and they've still got well over a circuit to go. And it's Dry High Line, Toured Up Express, Filcher and Joe Blake. Then Romney Chat on the outside. Back on the inner is Cool Abbey in the dark blue and red jacket. Then Gunner Whirlburn, and last option was Fair Wind. Manila Silver up the inside. Look in the mirror out wide. Real Value in a pink jacket, just shielded at the moment on the inside with Horus. Horus, the 11-4 favourite here as they complete their first circuit. Onto the next playing fence. The loose horse is running out at this next fence, which will be a relief to the riders. And at which it is Toured Up Express that now takes over from Dry High Line. And then Cool Abbey up the inside, Filcher right there. And Joe Blake, who's never been out of the first half dozen. Then last option of Manila Silver as they jump this next plain one. After these, Real Value from Fair Wind. Then Romney Chat, who's lost a bit of ground. £10 worth is picking up from the rear. Then Horus. Looks in the mirror, is dropping out. Then Tasman Tyrant and County Derry and Epsilo de la Ronce, and a long break then to Smile Please, nothing much to smile about, and Mr. Miller. And the loose horse has gone up the hill, well out of the way. Philip Fenton after that fall is okay, just leaning on the rail there, rather nonchalantly. Down the hill in the back straight, Toured Up Express and Filter. Joe Blake on the outside of Cool Abbey. Gunner Whirlburn in a good position out the inner. A mistake by Manila Silver on the inside. Back to the water jump. And Toured Up Express and Polly Gundry from Filter. Gunner Whirlburn and Rowan Cope on the inner. Joe Blake right there. Liam Lennon on the outside. 1 or 2 in different jumps at the water there. Manila Silver's not far off them. Last option getting into the race. So is Real Value as well in the pink under Andrew Hickman. And Hora's also improving in that green jacket as they take that open ditch. The leaders sail over. And it's Toured Up Express from Joe Blake and last option on the outside. Last option racing strongly as they take the next plain one. Then Gunner Whirlburn from Filter. Cool Abbey now being pushed along. Mr. Miller pulls up before that. They make the next left-hand turn. Dry High Line has pulled up on towards the next open ditch. This is 6 out, and it's Toured Up Express. Joe Blake really took off. The great job there by Joe Blake. Took him into the lead in the red cap. Last option, Toured Up Express. Gunner Whirlburn. Horus now makes headway out wide in the green, and then Real Value, County Derry, and then Fair Wind at the plain fence going up the hill. Plenty still in with chances, covered by about 10 or 12 lengths. Plenty of horses as they make the top turn. They've got 4 to jump, and it's Joe Blake from last option. Toured Up Express trying to rally. Gunner Whirlburn on the inside as they run slightly downhill towards this next fence. Joe Blake on the inside of last option. Then Gunner Whirlburn. Toured Up Express, Real Value and County Derry. Down the hill they gallop, on and on. £10 worth has made very good headway on the outside. And then Manila Silver. £10 worth in the maroon sleeves coming there as they jump 3 out. Toured Up Express back alongside last option with Joe Blake on the inside. Then Gunner Whirlburn and £10 worth County Derry. The favourite Horus looks to have a forlorn chance now, who's weakening badly as they run round the final turn, and it's Joe Blake and last option. Gunner Whirlburn coming there strongly. Then Toured Up Express, £10 worth and County Derry. They've got 2 fences left to jump in the Christie's Fox Hunters. Joe Blake over on the inside, last option. Gunner Whirlburn, Toured Up Express out wide. These 4 are clear of County Derry and £10 worth. It's last option just about in front now from Joe Blake, Gunner Whirlburn and Toured Up Express, who hasn't given in on the outside. There was precious little to choose there between last option and Toured Up Express. Last option and Fiona Needham, Toured Up Express and Polly Gundry. The girls first here, but Gunner Whirlburn is running on with Joe Blake. Last option is flat out from Gunner Whirlburn. Last option, Gunner Whirlburn thrusting on the far side, but last option wins it. Run Gunner Whirlburn. Welburn, then Torduff Express, followed home by Joe Blake. They were clear of County Derry, and then after County Derry, Fair Wind. A long gap then to £10 worth and Smile Please and Real Value. Cool Abbey was next, and then Filtra and Look in the Mirror, and Horus was pulled up in the end, didn't complete. Last Option, the 20-to-1 winner of this Christie's Fox Hunters Chase. Wonderful ride by Fiona Needham here, trained by Robin Tate, runs in the colours of Robin in the yellow and maroon hoop jacket. Last Option, the winner, with Gunnar Welburn closing all the way up the run-in the hands of Rowan Cope. Would have probably got there in another 50 yards, closing slowly but surely, but the post came in time for Last Option. In third, then Torduff Express, who ran a mighty race for Polly Gundry, and fourth home was the best of the Irish, Joe Blake.
Well, what a fabulous race this was. And Fiona Needham just about gets to the front on this fella Last Option. Only his third run of the season, being chased by Gunnar Welburn to real good old point-to-pointers. Polly Gundry's given Torduff Express a fabulous ride. Always up there in the van, kept shoveling him along as well. Over on the far side, Joe Blake did best of the two 7-year-olds. And Fiona Needham chased all the way up the run-in by Polly Gundry. But this old fella, look at him, what a lovely horse this is, Jim.
Absolutely, wants to win, head carried low, ears pricked, digs deep. The first four have all run smashing races. Since a couple of them are in the Grand National, they wouldn't be disgraced. They might not quite have the class to win round there, but Torduff Express and Gunnar Welburn, good reliable jumpers, but as John said, the winning horse, really Last Option, dug deep, kept pulling out a little bit more, and tremendous moment for Fiona Needham and Robin Tate.
Last Option, third in this Fox Hunter 3 years ago to Castlemaine at 20-to-1, wins today, also returned at 20-to-1, the 10th choice of the punters, that Last Option. The runner-up Gunnar Welburn was sent off at 8-to-1, and the third Torduff Express was a 10-to-1 chance. Joe Blake was fourth at 11-to-2, not many bookmakers will pay over that. Horus was sent off the 11-to-4 favourite, and that Last Option is the longest price winner in 23 runnings of the Fox Hunters over 3¼ miles. It used to be a longer distance. 16-to-1 Cavallero 2 years ago, and 14-to-1 Lovely Citizen in 91. Observe in 87 was also 14-to-1. 20-to-1, third 3 years ago, to better today at a score.
Absolutely cracking race for the Fox Hunters. Marvellous occasion for Fiona Needham. She really did give that a tremendous ride as well, and he wanted to win that horse. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to look back on a fabulous day's action. Gold Cup afternoon.
No, that's her dad.
He's just a poor bloke that's paying for everything.
Are you going to pay for my wedding, Dad?
Ah, sorry, James. Dads just pay for their daughters to get married.
Standard Life savings and investments perform consistently well, so preparing for something big in the future needn't be a worry.
I might not get married. So? I might just take the money.
Standard Life, for pensions, investments, healthcare and banking.
Hello?
I want a dinosaur, please.
We don't do dinosaurs. We don't do spaceships either.
Hello! I'm the dragon.
Where's Mummy?
Thanks.
Oh.
You're number 22.
Our new home phone service can save you up to 50% on all national calls. Call in or call 0808 182 2222. The post office. What a good idea.
Oh, Manhattan!
Welcome back to Cheltenham, everybody. Let's check some tote returns.
Yes, for the Fox Hunters, Last Option at 20-to-1 paid £32.90 for a win on the tote. Places were £40. We'll just have to check on the place on the winner. £2.50 for the runner-up Gunnar Welburn, and £3.10 for the third horse. The exacta £173.60.
It's a great result, this, for Fiona Needham, and it's a right family result because that's her husband, a bloodstock agent. She lives at Newmarket, but her father, Robin Tate, whose wife bred this horse and who trains high up on the Yorkshire moors, and this horse is qualified with the Billsdale, which is the smallest hunt, or one of the smallest, in England. This is probably one of the only hunter chasers, pointers they've got. So to come here and win in the biggest hunter chase in Britain, if not in the world, is the dream come true. This is the Amateurs Cheltenham Gold Cup. And this girl, she might not look very stylish, there's Robin, but by Joe, she's effective. And what a performance by Last Option.
Well, that was the Amateurs Gold Cup. Let's go back and have a look at the story of the Gold Cup with Jim and John.
Yeah, Richard Johnson looks like trouble right off on the right foot, or in his case the wrong leg. He's leading with his right, going over the first couple of fences, but he jumps them well. He's got Seymour Business as company. Berejjan jumped nicely, Nord Lowly right on the inside. Florida Pearl, they got him into a good rhythm. It's just in Bacchanal, he just jumped a little bit right there, but his jumping let him down. Normally, even though he jumped right-handed, he's fairly good and reasonably quick over them. But this afternoon, he just never got into a rhythm. I just feel that maybe the ground was a little bit on the quick side for him. And for the first 3 parts of a circuit, looks like trouble, looked right back to his very best, but then I just would have been beginning to feel his near foreleg, I would imagine, and started to jump right-handed. Joe Tizard and Seymour Business were trying to keep out of his way. Got 1 or 2 little bumps there. Just have a look out there for Best Mate and Jim Colotti, already getting him into a decent rhythm and getting into a decent position. And this horse jumping and galloping, Jim, but then that was the first sign of him starting to just feed himself.
Yeah, we said that. He'd gone straight over the first 7 fences, markedly right. But I remember you saying to me some time ago, in this race, it's almost like they go off at a 2-mile pace. Well, not so, and you think they'll stop, but very often they don't, John, and they didn't today.
Now, continues to go a good gallop. Florida Pearl, Conor O'Dwyer in a good posse. Berejjan, jumping let him down today. Jim Colotti said that Best Mate just made a couple of small mistakes, but by and large he jumped well, he travelled well, and so did old Seymour Business. He's a horse who can maintain a real good strong gallop. Just have a look through for Comanche Court, never too far away from Best Mate. Another mistake there from Bacchanal and Berejjan, and Florida Pearl still just hunting round on the outside. Go Ballistic, 13 years of age, getting tired at that point. But now, just when I thought that, well, looks like trouble would just begin to suffer a little bit, his jumping kept him in it for a long way. You can tell what a brave horse he is. All he wants to do is go right-handed. He's interfered with Seymour Business again there. Cypher Mortar, his race is run out in the back. But Comanche Court and Ruby Wars just beginning to come under pressure. The 4 horses in front of him, I can imagine that he thought that he had 2 of them beat, but if he looked over the Best Mate, probably couldn't believe how well he was travelling. Just got pushed out to the side, but gets down to the second last, just steps at it a little bit, lands running. Seymour Business still won't be denied, but the winner jumps well, meets it on a good stride. Half had his ears pricked, had the rail to run against, had more petrol left in the tank, and he's the one who's come on up this hill to take the 2002 Cheltenham Gold Cup in the manner of a really useful young horse.
Well, this is the lady who's been closest to Best Mate over the past... How many years have you looked after him?
It's about 3 years now.
And you were telling me when we were...
and check his no...
And you were telling me when we were...
and check his no cuts and everything, and then he'll have a rest for a while, bus made of him, and give him a bit of a rest, and then we'll take him home.
And then what happens tonight?
Might be a party.
In your life, how is this the best day of your life?
It is. I mean, it was amazing when I was lucky enough to look after Edgerton Blur and he won the Queen Mother Champions race. And this is it tops it. I mean, I'm so lucky to have such lovely horses to look after. Oh, brilliant.
It's one hell of a double, isn't it?
Yeah, it is amazing, yeah. And Jim Cullity gave me a brilliant ride. I was delighted for him.
Enjoy the rest of the day, and I know you'll remember it for the rest of your life.
I certainly will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A delighted Jackie Jenner. Let's take in the triumph of another lady on the course, Fiona Needham. The trophy presentation for the Christie's Fox Hunters.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, another great battle fought out on the final day of the festival in the Christie's Fox Hunter Steeplechase Challenge Cup, sponsored for the past 24 years by Christie's Limited, the fine art auctioneers, to whom we are very grateful for their continued support. It's a great pleasure to welcome onto the winners' rostrum Dermot and Katrine Chichester. Dermot is the chairman of Christie's Europe, and they're here to present, first of all, the magnificent challenge trophy, which goes to the winning owners of Last Option, and we congratulate Robin and Pat Tate. And ladies and gentlemen, special mementos for the winning trainer and rider. So Robin will also collect his memento from Dermot and Katrine. And not forgetting, of course, our winning rider. What a tremendous job she's done on Last Option, Fiona Needham.
Just to confirm those tote returns on the Fox Hunters, £32.90 for the win. That place on the winner Last Option, £6.40. The others £2.50 and £3.10, exactly £173.60. Earlier results here at Cheltenham today. The JCB Triumph Hurdle, it went to number 17 Scolardi at 16-1. Second, number 27 Newhall at 8-1. Third, number 5 Diamond Joshua 66-1, and fourth, number 1 Ballapur at 100-1, 28 rounds. The bonus Prince Stayers went to the French horse, number 2 Barracuda, 13-8 favourite in an epic race. Second, number 1 Bano Bay at 2-1, and third, number 9 It Takes Time at 12-1, 16 rounds. In the Tote Cheltenham Gold Cup result itself, first, number 4 Best Mate at 7-1, second, number 5 Comanche Court at 25-1, and third, number 15 Seymour Business at 40-1, 18 rounds. Today's champion tipster details: the maximum is 255, claims required for 150 points or more on 0870 904 5051.
As we come towards the end of Cheltenham 2002, our team have put together the sights and the sounds that have been the festival for the past 3 days.
gold and silver shine. Look at me. It really was not easy, but I can breathe. And I'm so grateful because I can see I am free. Do exactly what I please. So come with me to a place where we can be.
Terrific images of the emotional cauldron of Cheltenham, the highs and lows, and somebody on a high, Fiona Needham.
Yes, Alistair, she's just picking up the biggest trophy of the week here. Pretty heavy, I should think. I'll give you a hand with that. Well done.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful, isn't it? I don't mind how heavy it is.
Well, you ride this horse all the time. We last saw you running fourth in the Scottish National on Channel 4.
That's right. My parents bred him, and very kindly they've kept me on him. So yes, I always ride him. And he ran a super race in the Scottish National and ran even better today.
I love the silks as well, or the woolens. They're quite old, aren't they?
Well, they're the lucky colours, but they were my dad's when he first started, and they just come out for this horse. He said, would I wear them for sentiment, really? We do have a set of silks.
If you wash them, they disappear, have you?
Yes. Delicate hand wash, a new meaning to these.
Well done you, enjoy it.
Thank you very much, I shall, thank you.
Just a few results from elsewhere. The 250 at Southall, first number 4 Kumakawa at 9-1. A dead heat for second between number 6 Sudra at 2-1, the favourite, and number 8 Isle at 14-1, 13 round. 3:30, first number 7 Brilliant Basil, another winner for Kieran Fallon, 13-8 on favourite. Second number 4 Cap Acoustic at 50-1, and third number 10 Avaliva at 11-2, 12 round. Hexham, the 3 o'clock. First number 1 Premier Drive. Ross Garrity was amongst the winners here yesterday, 7-4 on favourite. Second number 2 Garden Party at 7-1, and third number 3 Plenty Courage at 5-2, 4 round. 3:40, first number 1 Lazy But Lively at 11-4. Second number 6 Just Maybe at 7-2, and third number 3 King's Bounty, the 5-4 on favourite. Non-runner number 2, 10 round.
3 more races still to come in the 2002 Cheltenham Festival. You can see them on Sky Digital Channel 323 and ITV Digital Channel 41. The next one is the Grand Annual at 4:30. At 5:05 we've the Cathcart Challenge Cup Chase, and at 5:40 the festival closes with the Vincent O'Brien County Handicap Hurdle, in which Polar Red goes for that £60,000 bonus.
Gold Cup afternoon. Well, the day has belonged to night. Best Mate came here as the young pretender. He leaves wearing the crown. Goodbye.